talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van range. Commercial vehicles that go the distance for your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
Good afternoon, I'm Max Scott here with your sports headlines. After an emotional week, Andy Robertson's keeping his cards close to his chest on that possible move to Spurs, and he's fully focused on leading Scotland to their first World Cup in a generation.
The whole country's excited, and we've been on some journey. In terms of the Scotland journey, it's been unbelievable. We've had ups, we've had downs, but that night against Denmark will go down in the history books, I think, of one of the best games at Hampden. And
Scotland's World Cup opener against Haiti is live on talkSPORT June 14th. And while Robertson didn't reveal his next club, we understand he is on his way to Spurs, as is Bournemouth defender Marco Senesi will sign a 4-year contract at the club. Elsewhere, Robertson's former teammate Ibrahima Konate will leave Liverpool on a free this summer. Meanwhile, Arsenal invincible Lee Dixon says Mikel Arteta is on the brink of greatness.
He's done a brilliant job. Yeah. He's reconnected the players to the fans, and he's now in a position, if he wins the big one, and he's got a double under his belt, then I do believe that there's a potential dynasty around the corner.
The Gunners' Champions League final is, of course, live on talkSPORT tomorrow afternoon. Darts now, and Luke Littler's been praised for dealing with the pressures of social media and being world number one at just 19. An emotional Littler revealed he came close to quitting over fan abuse before winning his second Premier League of darts. talkSPORT's Laura Wood says neither Phil Taylor nor Michael van Gerwen were this young when they got to the top.
This is different, so he could go on and dominate for years and years and years, but with it comes the stresses of the Premier League week in, week out is so demanding. It's absolutely knackering, and it gets to the most weathered darts players, let alone the youngsters.
You can get all the latest breaking news on our website at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
Will new AI facial technology be able to catch adult asylum seekers pretending to be children? And two brothers accused of assaulting police at Manchester Airport won't face a third retrial. Amelia's got more in half an hour.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Spring forwards with Bridgestone Turanza all-season 6 tyres with a 25,000 mileage guarantee. Book today at quickfit.com. Conditions apply.
As the heat wave subsides, still dry and bright for most of us. Cloudy over Scotland and the southeast, where there are some showers. Still warm, bit fresher in the far north.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. Because this summer, you and a mate could be jetting off to watch England versus Croatia live at the FIFA World Cup 2026 in Dallas, including tickets, flights, accommodation and more, courtesy of Adidas. Go to talksport.com/win to enter now, and you could be soaking up the incredible atmosphere at the FIFA World Cup 2026. For the chance to win every football fan's trip of a lifetime, enter now at talksport.com/win.
This is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with you through until 4 here on talkSPORT Wear this afternoon. Please tell us, Andy, what's coming up?
Yes, coming up over the next 3 hours, we'll build up to tomorrow's Champions League final. F1 cult hero Gunther Steiner joins us and tells us about his move into MotoGP. And we're joined by the former Chelsea Academy player who turned to boxing, a promotion at the age of 14.
I know, amazing story. Our darts commentator Ian Danter also joins us to reflect on a bittersweet night for Luke Littler. And we'll discover why Harry Maguire's backing a new AI coaching app.
There's all this plus the clips of the week. The only journalist who found a way into England's dressing room after the '66 World Cup final chats about his new book. And courtside nuns go viral in Todd Macklin's American.
Yeah, courtside nuns go viral.
Sounds fascinating.
5 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Andy.
Good afternoon, Paul.
Do you have any sport last night? Oh, we had the darts.
We had the darts, was fabulous.
Which was amazing, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later. I'm glad Luke admitted the crowd were getting to him. It was really annoying me, the booing of him. I thought it was pathetic, actually. This is the best thing to happen to darts for ages. I know it was pantomime, but it was...
It's a bit tall poppy syndrome, as we all know.
Yeah,
but,
it's rubbish, though.
But anyway, we'll talk to Dance. He was there last night, and he was there throughout the Premier League, so he can give us a good perspective on on what he saw and whether this will be a bit of a line in the sand from that point of view. Ian Stone's going to join us. He's over in Budapest for the big game tomorrow. He's a big Arsenal fan and podcaster, so we'll look ahead to that. We'll get a...
Yeah, I'm really hoping, though, for an Arsenal... I'm really dreading, rather, an Arsenal victory.
Are you okay?
If they do win, I'll be presenting Monday's show from Ulaanbaatar.
Oh, okay.
Well, get away from them.
You're going to have to get a quick flight, aren't you, I would imagine?
I've got a horrible feeling they're going to win.
Okay, well, that's one way. Well, why'd you say that then? Why?
Who wants them to win apart?
No,
from
I don't
Arsenal
mean that.
fans?
I don't mean that. I mean,
why do I think that? Because I think they're equipped to beat PSG, and there's something I reckon in the PSG psyche about the way they lost to Chelsea in the, if it starts to go against them, that could be a factor.
Well, that's why I've said that to you before. Everybody was saying, but when it actually, we'll talk about this later on about from a PSG point of view, but. When you played them, you absolutely battered them. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah, no.
They were a bit undercooked at that point, but then again, so were you, weren't you?
Yeah. No, I think they were a bit knackered after a very long season, but even so, it was a good win.
Their keeper, the PSG keeper, not the greatest from crosses, which doesn't bode well. So you do feel Arsenal are going to get a set piece
Arsenal got a
goal.
good chance. They're very confident. See Havertz, very confident.
Well, he scored a goal in the final before, hasn't he? So he knows what it's like.
That's good, really.
There won't be much in it. I think it could be going into extra time. Definitely.
I'm hoping from a neutral point of view. I am hoping from an early PSG goal. I think it'll be a much better game.
Yeah.
There's a very interesting poll, actually, on the most fashionable male celebrities at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, you'd expect David Beckham to be right up there.
Well, of course you would.
And a poll of 2,000 adults for National Express. What's it got to do with them? How many people on the coaches are so well dressed?
Oh, they are, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, the last time you got on a National Express coach, it was like GQ magazine. It was like a
Devil Wears Prada.
You don't walk, you sashay down the coach and then you turn and you walk back down the coach. It's like a runway.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So, yes, and good old Jerry Lawton. He's not giving up with his scare stories.
Was this World Cup scare story?
Yeah. England World Cup scare I can't even say it. Scare stories.
Yes.
England's World Cup base, says Jerry, has been hit with an Ebola public health alert.
Oh, no.
I don't think it has. And, but he reckons...
Where is it then? It's in
Missouri.
Kansas.
They've health chiefs in Missouri have warned medics to prepare for an influx of sufferers of the non-curable condition. Well, I mean, obviously you've got to be aware of these things, but Jerry really seizes on it. Like England fans are going to be in danger.
It's hell of a sort of thing. You can't play in the quarter final. You've got Ebola. I mean, that'd be a bit of a shocker, wouldn't it? It makes change from a tight hamstring.
No.
I'm sure it won't happen.
No, I'm sure. And Jerry says that Brits will sup 11...
You should maybe point out who Jerry is. I mean, it's like people are... It's a bit like going around your nana's house and she says, oh, Brian was here. And I'm thinking, who's Brian?
We've talked about him a lot. Jerry Lawton of the Star Scare story.
Don't assume any prior knowledge. If people are...
I give the audience credit for being...
Don't. You assume too much. You're sitting there saying, well, Jerry says this, and Jerry, I don't know who Jerry is.
You know who he is.
Well, I know who he is. He writes for The Star, and he likes an England scare story.
Do a survey.
I think you are losing the plot
I'm
somewhat.
going to do a survey with the national coaches.
Yeah.
We're doing a survey of how many people know Jerry Lawton is.
Now, if mispronouncing names, let's have a bit of that maybe today, because it leads into a story from Norman Giller, venerable author, and the only man, as Andy said in the intro, to blag his way into the dressing room at Wembley in the 1966 World Cup. The only journalist, anyway, there was quite a few men in there, but the only journalist to get in until Alf Ramsey booted him out. And there was a story from the Times Diary this week involving Norman's book, and it's this story. Alf Ramsey, the England manager, of course, I'm assuming no knowledge, had a fearsome...
Not Alf Ramsey, the plumber.
No. Had a fearsome stare when he was angry. And in Norman's book, there is this story how all the players, and I think I've seen pictures of this, they all went along to Pinewood Studios and they did a visit to the Bond set, I think, in the build-up to the final to meet everybody. And after it, Sir Alf, well, it wasn't Sir Alf then, was he? Felt he should give a bit of a speech to thank everybody. And if you've heard Alf Ramsey speak, he was from Dagenham, basically. But he had elocution lessons.
Yes.
Because
he didn't particularly help.
So he sounded a bit like Lionel Jeffries.
He did.
He said, he'd say things like, we were very good for the first half an hour. And occasionally he'd slip back into Dagenham.
Yeah.
And it'd be quite posh and quite clipped and the lessons would kick in. But then he'd say, half an hour. It was quite bizarre. But anyway.
Zeitgeist impressions.
Yeah. I'm doing them all now.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, who's coming to listen to my old friend Sir Alf Ramsey? I'll do John Noakes next.
Fantastic.
So anyway, the point is this.
Yes.
Apparently he stood up, Sir Alf, and he said, can I thank everybody here at Pinewood who've invited me and the team along today, especially the star of the show, Mr. Sean Connery.
Oh, dear.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
And then apparently Norman says Ramsey was not amused when his captain, Bobby Moore, said, "That's the funniest thing I've ever shorn or heard." Yeah, well done, Bob, yeah. So anyway, if you would like to regale us with tales with just pronouncing the name of us slightly wrong and getting all the pushback for it, and Norman will be in, no doubt, to fill that story in and give us some other tales of the Boys of 66, which feature in his new book. talksport.com/H&J, text to 81089, tweet to TSH&J 03717223344.
I want to thank Chris, a listener from Sale, who texted me during the Palace final to comment on the Rayo Vallecano player, Pathé Cis. He said, "There's only old newsreel footage of this guy." I thought, that's a good line. I said,
Was that his
what a
name?
shame it's not his birthday. Yeah, it was. Pathé, it's his first name.
His first name spelt that way?
Yeah.
P-A-T-H-E?
P-A-T-H-E with a apostrophe.
How about that? Okay.
Yeah. So well done to Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Good laugh. Yeah, good line. So, you have a bit of news in from Alex Crook, our chief football correspondent. You've just been hearing from with Sam and Gabby. Kieran Trippier, of course, left Newcastle at the end of the season. Looks like he's off to Wolves.
Oh, okay. That's a good move.
Yeah,
for both,
good move. A good move for Wolves, certainly, to have a kind of experienced player like that in the team as they look to get back up. So there we are.
There's quite a lot of business being done, and Spurs have been doing a bit of interesting business. And
well, yeah, Senesi I've certainly liked him at Bournemouth.
Robertson's still got a lot to
do. I think so. Who were we chatting to yesterday who was saying that he still thinks he's the... that was Ross McCormack, the former Scotland striker.
No, he's good still.
He was saying he thinks he's still the best left back at Liverpool, or was until he left. But anyway, I think he's a good man to have in that dressing room as they start to hopefully have a bit of a reset. But I'm sure there'll be more breaking transfer news. We'll bring it to you as we get it. But we are going to be heading to Budapest next, where Ian Stone, friend of the show, comedian, Arsenal fan and podcaster, is in situ for the game tomorrow. We'll build up to that with Stoney. We will be chatting to Ian Dandry, who was commentating on the Premier League darts last night. And in the midst of everything that happened afterwards with Luke Littler, we didn't really get a chance to talk about what an incredible game it was.
Oh, it was wonderful.
So Dance will reflect on that.
It was just a great night.
Yeah. So we'll chat to Dance about that. Harry Maguire is part of a new business. It's a new sort of training app, coaching app. It's AI related. And we're going to be speaking to one of his business partners in that to find out more. Quite an interesting origin story of how the whole thing came about. As we said, Norman Giller takes us back to the dressing room of the England setup at the 66 World Cup. Hopefully there's some good omens heading into this World Cup. Charlie Herman used to be a goalkeeper at Chelsea as a kid. But he was deemed too small, as he didn't really grow when he was about 12, 13. So they made a decision early.
That's a shame.
He wasn't 6'4" when he was 12. But he went into boxing promoting, and that's gone into kickboxing, and he's got quite the story, so he's going to be popping in to see us. Gunther Steiner is back. Never a dull moment with him, the cult hero from the world of F1, of course, Haas team principal back in the day and Drive to Survive. He's gone 2 wheels rather than 4. He's CEO of a Moto GP team, so I didn't know he was into that, but he'll tell us more about it a little bit later on. We'll get his take on what's going on in the world of F1 currently. And Tom Macklin's got some weird and wonderful tales. We'll have some clips of the week, so there's loads to come between now and 4. To get in touch on anything at all, the mispronounced names or anything at all, 03717 223344, talksport.com/H&J, text to 81089 or tweet to TSH&J. We kick off in Budapest with Ian Stone. We're here with the Toolstation Trade Club. You'll get 10% off all electrical and lighting products when you buy cables and flexes. First stop, Toolstation.
Edwin, away from Soccer Aid, obviously a good second half of the season for your former club, Manchester United. It feels like a no-brainer to give Michael Carrick the job on a full-time basis. I guess the big question is, what can he achieve next season? How close to being championship contenders do you see them being?
Yeah, but I think what Michael brought was stability, clarity. Got some players in, played a lot of times the same team, and formation that was recognizable for the fans. And I think the performance that he put on, the results that he got, and that the board and the directors take their time to look at our options, see how things develop, see how the players look like. Probably got some contact with Bruno and some established players to make up their mind. And very happy for Michael that he got the opportunity to do it on a permanent basis.
What about Michael Carrick's big selections this summer? What has he got to do in order to make them more competitive next season in terms of winning the Premier League? Because that's the established aim for Manchester United.
Yeah, of course. I'm not that deep into Manchester United. And of course, some players will have a desire to leave or to extend the contract. Big thing is, of course, Casemiro leaving, so that will leave them a big gap in the midfield. There's an initial.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. Because this summer, you and a mate could be jetting off to watch England versus Croatia live at the FIFA World Cup 2026 in Dallas, including tickets, flights, accommodation and more, courtesy of Adidas. Go to talksport.com/win to enter now, and you could be soaking up the incredible atmosphere at the FIFA World Cup 2026. For the chance to win every football fan's trip of a lifetime, enter now at talksport.com/win.
In the European Cup final. 2006 is the year that Barcelona returned to the summit of European football.
There is the full-time whistle. A historic night for Arsenal. For the first time since 2006, the Gunners are Champions League finalists.
We're going to prepare that game with the intention to win and write a new story in the club's history.
It's all over. Arsenal have won it. George Graham, he's won just about everything he could win at home, and now he's won an important event in Europe.
They've embraced the past and used that as oxygen.
Like this. PSG, they've won by 5-0, and they are finally European champions.
Yes, Champions League final earlier than usual, tomorrow evening at 5 o'clock.
It's a new tradition. It's going to be that forevermore.
Why have they gone for it? Have they said?
Yeah, it's a very good reason, actually. It makes sense. Because, I don't know if you've ever been to a Champions League final, which you and I have.
Well, yes. I think our next guest has.
You get turned out about 11 o'clock at night in a strange city trying to get back. We didn't get back to our hotel till about 2:30 in the morning from Munich. So it's to make life easier for the fans.
Yeah, that is very true. It took us good old UEFA didn't make it easier to get in and out the stadium, and they never do they? So I can see the sense of it. Well done. Sensible move by UEFA. Anyway, let's look ahead. We're going to have a chat with Tom Scholes, who's the author of 2 books on PSG, and get his take on that. But first, let's get the Arsenal angle. I said he's already in Budapest. He hasn't gone that early. I think he's off tomorrow. Comedian, friend of the show, Arsenal fan and podcaster, Ian Stone. Good afternoon, Ian.
Good afternoon, chaps.
When do you set off?
Tomorrow morning, early tomorrow morning, and I'm on a bit of a. I've got a Bakewell tour show tonight. I'm going to Derbyshire, and then I've got 35 minutes to make a 27-minute drive back to Chesterfield to get a train back to London, so I can leave about 6 o'clock tomorrow morning to get on my plane.
So no encores.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Let's hope you stink the place out tonight.
I know. I think I'm going to be a bit rubbish for the last 10 minutes just to let it tail off. I know no encores. It's so weird for me, but I'm just going to have to put up with it for this evening.
So, how are you feeling as we get closer? I mean, I was hearing someone say earlier on that because the title is, and there's been a bit of a letdown, a bit of a deep breath, that this feels like a free hit. Are you having that? This came from an Arsenal fan, actually.
Yeah, I think the Arsenal fans might feel that way. I don't think the boys do. I think the players, now they've won one, and they must have so enjoyed Selhurst Park and the celebrations, as we all did. I think they want more of that. And obviously we're having a parade on Sunday, whatever. But I think it's time now. I do think that they think they're the best team in Europe. I know that PSG are brilliant, but we've let in 6 goals in the whole competition. We're unbeaten. They've got more than a puncher's chance tomorrow, and I think they'll be feeling like they can do it.
Yeah, I think they've got a very good chance. It's a classic matchup, really. The best defence in Europe versus the best attack, and can only be a great game. Especially, and you won't want to hear this, Ian, but if PSG score first for the neutrals, it's going to be better.
Score first and early makes it a really exciting game.
Arsenal are going to have to come out. Right. Whereas from an Arsenal point of view, obviously it's much better. The longer it's 0-0, maybe they get a set play or something like that, and you can see them winning it that way.
I hope the neutrals have a terrible evening.
Of course you do.
Tomorrow. I mean, I'll take penalties. I'll take 0-0 and penalties. But I'm excited. Of course, I'm excited. I heard you just talking before. You've been to a couple of Champions League. You've been 3 between you Champions League finals. Yeah. I've been to 1 in 2006, and a couple of other, UEFA Cup and Cup Winners' Cup for the kids. That was something we used to play for. 100 years ago. And so you don't get to go European finals very often, especially a Champions League final. And the excitement has been building. It took a couple of days to calm down from the league, but now I think everyone is fully focused and ready.
It's amazing how it switches, though, because in 2021 Chelsea were in the Champions League, and Arsenal, I was looking this morning, some put these pictures up. Kroenke, I wouldn't wish you on Spurs. These are demos in 2021, so it's not that long ago.
No.
The fans were really unhappy.
I'm taking a little bit of hope from your relationship with the Kroenkes. Our relationship with Enoch is. I mean, we've had all these messages this week, Sam. We haven't done as well as we should have done. We're going to put it right, and that was essentially where you were at with Kroenke at one point. And in the end, maybe they did wake up and smell the coffee and back the manager, and this is where you are now.
I think the protests against the Super League, it was just after the COVID, and it was almost the first time that we'd amassed as a crowd, and there were thousands of outside the Emirates, basically being very rude about the Kroenkes, get out of our club, and apparently what I've heard is that Josh Kroenke suddenly realised, football in England is different. In Britain, football is different. We really feel ownership of the clubs, and I'm told he became a fan pretty much after that, and he realised what it was about. And since then, you've got to give them credit. They've spent their money, and look where we are. And it's been a very well-run club.
It is. There's no question.
And there's an opportunity there, isn't it? With all the changes at City, there's going to be a bit of a period of adjustment that you can build on that next season, that you can look to be winning multiple titles.
A dynasty, yeah.
A dynasty, I love that word.
Yeah, well.
That's what we're looking for, a dynasty. Do you know what? Let's get this out the way and then start talking about our multiple trophies in the next few years. But I think having got over the line and the way it's happened, this sort of 4 or 5 year cycle that we've had, I do feel like they're ready for it. They need a couple of additions, I think, but let's win our first Champions League, because I think that elevates us to another level. We in England we're a giant club, but in Europe, we've won a Cup Winners' Cup and we've won a UEFA Cup or Fairs Cup, in fact, however long ago that was. It's not good enough for a club of our stature. So let's get one tomorrow, and then we'll see.
Now, one of the big battles tonight will be keeping Kvaratskhelia quiet. Will he bring Timber back, or do you think he'll start with Mosquera? What do you think he's going to do?
I mean, look, it depends how fit Timber is. I mean, he's been making noises saying he might be ready, and a fit Timber against Kvaratskhelia, that's a battle that you want to watch. They're two outstanding footballers.
Not a half fit Timber though, probably.
No, but Mosquera. I mean, I think William Saliba's going to have a big part to play directing him. You go there, come back in, like Tony Adams did with Ashley Cole, for example. And I think it's going to be a similar thing. And obviously, Kvaratskhelia worries me, but he's not the only one. They've got outstanding players all over the pitch.
Yeah.
But as Andy said, we got a great defence. And if we can keep them out for the first 60, 70 minutes, we've got a huge chance. And if anyone can stop them, we can.
Safanov is a bit of a flapper at times. That's an advantage from your point of view as well, because I'm sure they'll be aware of that, and they would have been working on that, and they'll be trying to get into him. Whether the referee will let them do what they can do in the Premier League's another thing, but he is certainly someone to target from set pieces.
When you say flapper, I was starting to think of some 20s girl doing the Charleston.
Yeah. He does the black bottom before every game. It's fantastic. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to start saying, well, he's not as good as Donnarumma, because then of course he'll be listening today and he'll think I'll show him. Right?
Yes, exactly.
And but he isn't as good as Donnarumma. No. I don't think. Hey, listen, I mean, they do concede shots. Do concede shots. And I know our forward line hasn't been firing. I think it's a day for Victor coming off the bench, tomorrow, to be honest with you. I think he might start with Havertz. Yeah. And obviously, Andy, he won the Champions League for you. He's a big game player.
He is.
You might not have said that when you were selling him to us. Yeah. But, we've got match winners as well. And they're going to play an open game. And not many teams play an open game against Arsenal, so we'll see what we got.
When you got to pick up your tour dates again, then? When you haven't got to do a gig Sunday night, have you?
I got Budapest late on Saturday. We'll see. Hopefully, I'm attracting a lot of Arsenal fans. No, I'm back out in Tunbridge Wells next Friday, I think it is, or next Thursday. And the Bedford date that is on the Friday or the Saturday of that week was meant to be tomorrow, but obviously I had to move that because just in case we qualify for the Champions League final. So I've got a couple more, and then it's and then I'm going on a ship for a week or so, and then I'm going, and then Edinburgh in August, and back on tour in September.
Excellent.
I should direct people to your Instagram too. It's very funny. Little bits of stand-up, but really topical and very amusing.
Thanks, mate. Yeah. Ian Stone comedy, and I put out clips all the time, and people come to shows, and it's great fun.
Ian Stone comedian as well on
Facebook.
On Facebook, you can find all of that, and all the dates are there. Well, safe journey back from Bakewell and on to Budapest. Enjoy the game. All the best, Ian. Cheers.
Thanks, guys. Nice to speak to you.
Take care. This
title of a book, isn't it? From Bakewell to Budapest.
Yeah, that's
my European Cup.
He'll do.
journey.
Yeah, he'll do his. Yeah,
It's got to be.
I hope Pitcher listening. He'll do that book for you, I'm sure. So obviously, we're going to bring you commentary of the big game tomorrow evening. Here on talkSPORT. Yeah, I wonder why they've done the 5 o'clock. I wondered why they because it didn't make sense, for some aspects of telly around the world. But it's UEFA think of fans, Chocker.
I know.
Because you're absolutely right. You do find yourself coming out sort of 11 o'clock.
No transport. No, we had to walk back into Munich. It was a disaster.
No, I mean, we had to kind of a very convoluted route back into Madrid.
We'd won, so it didn't matter. But
well,
not
so much fun when you've lost.
Absolutely not.
Anyway, 5 o'clock kickoff. Adrian Durham, Jim Proudfoot, Stuart Pearce, your commentary team, and you'll be at React straight afterwards. Of course, on the phones, Arsenal fans. We've got Soccer Aid for you on Sunday as well, and Andy and Benty are once again at Soccer Aid training this afternoon from 4. But we've got plenty more to come. Bit of cricket. We've been chatting to Brendan McCullum today. We'll get some reaction on that. We're going to be chatting to one of Harry Maguire's business partners and a new AI training football coaching app. And the only man who, blagged his way into the dressing room after the 66 World Cup, the only journalist, Norman Gill, is going to join us to chat about his new book.
as I've been waiting to come on, I've just had a message from somebody called Gabriel Agbonlahor. I'm not quite sure who he is, but his message was replying to me writing a diary in the Spectator magazine this week, which is headline, "No one likes Arsenal, we don't care." And he's just said, "I pray for a PSG win." Think about that sentence. That is a talkSPORT presenter on his knees praying to God that Arsenal an English team, do not win the Champions League. That is how pathetic the Arsenal haters have got. It is pathetic.
I want to ask you about that, Pierre, and I'm deadly serious, right? I'm deadly serious, right? I remember West Ham getting that Conference League final. Just about the whole country was behind them. Certainly Palace last week. Everybody was behind them. Why? What is it with Arsenal?
I just cannot understand how any fan base that has me, Keir Starmer, Jeremy Corbyn, the president of Rwanda.
You've answered that.
And I haven't finished yet. And the late Osama bin Laden. Why that fan base would be so detested, I have no idea. No, you know what it is? It's we live in a country I like this about our country, but it's tall poppy syndrome, right? When we were losing and choking, everybody loved Arsenal, right? For the last 22 years, there's nothing other football fans have enjoyed more or loved more or celebrated more than our repeated choking and failures. And now we've actually climbed the summit. Now we've become Premier League champions again. And frankly, now everyone's beginning to wake up to what I've been telling you guys for several years now, that we have the best squad in world football and could well go on a 10-year tear.
After a very emotional week, Andy Robertson's told talkSPORT it's important he draws a line under Liverpool, and more importantly, the club draw a line under their 8-time trophy-winning left-back.
It's been an unbelievable 9-year journey. The farewell on Sunday was, really emotional for me and my family. But yeah, I suppose now my full focus is on Scotland.
Ahead of their first World Cup in a generation, Andy Robertson says Steve Clarke's new contract is great news for the squad.
We've been able to create a special atmosphere in terms of within the squad, and all the lads are so close, but without him, it's not possible.
Scotland's first World Cup game against Haiti is live on talkSPORT on June 14th. Now, Lionel Messi will play in his 6th World Cup. Despite indecision over going again at 38, Messi will be there to help Argentina try and retain their title this summer. Elsewhere, Anthony Gordon's expected to complete his move from Newcastle to Barcelona today. We understand Barca are paying Newcastle $70 million for their winger. And Luke Littler almost walked away from Premier League darts this season. Despite poor form, an onstage bust-up with Michael van Gerwen and abuse from the fans, Littler stuck at it before beating Luke Humphries 11-10 in a thrilling final.
Everything I said on stage tonight, the tears, I'm not asking for sympathy, I just told the world, I told everyone how I was feeling during the Premier League, and yeah, the biggest outcome is next to me.
There's more at talksport.com.
Humphries
This is becoming repetitive. Look on 1-2-1, which is Clayton's signature shot, but Humphreys needs to take it. 60 hit, treble 11, double 14. Immaculate from cool hand Luke.
Set it up for double 8 Humphreys, but Luke Littler for the match wants 54. 14 for his favourite double top. He hit single 11 by mistake. 3. He's only got 1 dart at tops for the match on this visit, but he's penned it. How about that? Luke Littler snatches the Premier League title back from Luke Humphreys in a deciding leg on one of the most incredible nights of darts ever seen.
Because if you don't like darts after that, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, it was an incredible game. Really, I mean, it was at 6-3 down at one point and came back. He looked like he was done for. But
they've got so much respect for each other, those two. It's brilliant.
No, there were some lovely moments. We'll come on to what happened after the game. But first, let's deal with the game. Ian Dante, you heard in commentary there. Hi, Dance.
Afternoon, fellas. You all right?
Yeah. Thanks. I mean, that was a real proper clash of the Titans, wasn't it?
The whole night was. I'm still pretty drained from having experienced it because you could not have had any more legs of darts played last night than what we had, because every game, the 2 semi-finals, went to a deciding leg as well as the final. So all 4 players pushed each other all the way. And, Gerwin Price and Johnny Clayton probably get forgotten in all of this, but their contribution to the night was massive, even before the 2 Lukes contested that final. So, yeah, if you paid for your ticket last night for the O2, you got better value for money than probably any darts get-together that we've had in this country for a jolly long time.
Yeah, it was quality. What did you make of Luke Littler when you were there live, watching him sort of confess how difficult it's been for him?
I think it's just symptomatic of the build-em-up, knock-em-down culture that seems to still be prevalent in this country for sports stars of all ages and abilities. But when they get to the top, and the kid's 19. When you can only speak as you find, Andy, right? And you get to interview Luke a lot, and it's usually straight after the game that he's played, whether he's won or he's lost. And he is a pretty shy kid, but he's eloquent. He's got used to the media. At first, he was terrified of us all, and quite rightly, because suddenly he's in the spotlight from nowhere. But he's far more comfortable in an interview situation now. But he's just a regular kid who just happens to be stupendously brilliant at the sport of darts. And these sort of gotcha culture of trying to get at him, that to me says far more about the person going than the person they're pointing the finger at. I'm sick of all that, completely sick of it. And I understand why Luke felt he had to say what he said, both on stage and to all of us, whether it was written media or us in our interview, that those nights in Brighton and Manchester really made him reconsider, just for a fleeting moment, what he was doing up there.
Do you think this will stop it now? Do you think people will realise that they've gone too far, that it's not pantomime, it's actually got to him? Or do you think it might encourage them to do it more, which would be really sad?
The only recent example I can think of, Andy, that you can draw any kind of comparison with in terms of that sort of pantomime villain thing was Gerwin Price wearing the ear defenders at the World Championships to sort of try and counter the ridiculous abuse he was getting on stage at Ali Pali. Now, Gerwin's relationship with the audience, it's far better. You still get a few boos when his name's announced as they do their walk-ons to the stage. But I think generally Gerwin's done brilliantly to sort of ride out that particular period of his relationship with the audience. And I'm pretty sure that Luke can do the same and win people's... Well, he doesn't have to win my appreciation back, but I don't know. There's a lot of monkey see, monkey do in all of this, that, some people start booing and people joining because it seems like it's the fashionable thing to do. Good grief, I hope it stops, because it's the one thing that doesn't help the sport at all. It's got so many great things going for it, apart from these meatheads who do what they have to do, and the ones that whistle when somebody's on a double. I think Johnny Clayton might have suffered that last night at one point.
That was in the semi-final, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Luke Humphries, he's a wonderful player. Is he too nice? I mean, he seems such a lovely man. We've interviewed, he is a lovely man, but sometimes you need that edge, don't you?
I'll tell you what's interesting. Both of them last night, there is a lot of respect between the two of them. You see that inner dialogue going on. They play bad shots and they never take it out on each other. You do see some players kind of try and feed off the other one. But, I mean, we saw because I think he knew he'd lost. He knew Littler was going to go up and close that final game out, and he was beating himself up, wasn't he, Luke Humphries, as he walked back?
Yeah, but there's not many people who would know what Luke Littler's going through the same way that Luke Humphries does.
Yeah.
And the fact that Luke Humphries went over to Littler, when he was doing his television interview and he had to stop because he was getting very over-emotional, Luke Humphries, you'll have noticed, was straight over to him, even though he had no place in that interview, went, look, I'm going to give him a big hug, and then, look, you go and compose yourself. I'll do my interview with television, and then that gives you a chance just to, get your bearings and get ready for it. And that's the mark of Luke Humphries for me, a guy that just knows how to... Look, he is a winner. That he's not someone that he won't have enjoyed losing last night. He's not that sort of nice guy that would just on you go, old horse, stick it on double top and beat me. That's fine. He was waiting to win that match himself. And Littler only had that one dart at tops. That's the fine margins. So Luke would have been ready to take out the double he needed, but he's just. Well, they all are at the top of the game. There's no bad eggs that I can see in the world of darts at the top because they all support one another and appreciate one another.
It was interesting to say that he'd not really spoken to anybody but his girlfriend about the way he was feeling. He didn't obviously feel comfortable enough that he could speak. I'm sure everyone at the PDC will be keeping an eye on him now. Now they're aware of just how much has affected him.
Well, the PDC generally is brilliant at the holistic side of the sport. And looking after talent. And, they've been with Luke since he was coming through the JDC ranks. And they probably, when he was winning World Youth Tournaments, they were probably thinking, right, we've got to make sure that we protect Luke Littler as much as possible because he looks like he's going to... I don't think anybody was expecting him to make the leaps that he did as quickly as he has. You've got to bear in mind, he's only got 2 ranking major tournaments that he hasn't won. Already, he's joint third on the all-time list. He's only missing the World Cup of Darts, which takes place next month, where Luke Humphries will be his partner in Frankfurt, and then the European Championships in September. He's won everything else. Already, and he's not even 20. But the PDC look after their players, and Faith, I think, is a very important sort of calming influence for Luke. She's great for him. He's great for her. It's lovely to see. They're very dependent on one another. There's Luke's mum and his dad who were there as well last night. So his support unit around him is as good as it can be, in my opinion. They're really solidly behind him. It's wonderful.
Excellent, Dan. Pleasure as always. We will catch up with you soon. Thanks very much.
Cheers, boys. Take care of yourselves.
Ian Dancer there, one of our top commentary team who brought you the Premier League darts final last night. So, we're going to talk a bit more about the use of AI in football coaching. Harry Maguire is sold. He's involved in the business. It's called Feeds, and we'll find out more about it from the co-owners, Matt White, and said it's got quite an interesting origin story, how the idea for this came about, which Matt will tell us about very shortly. We're here with our good friends at Tool Station. First stop, Tool Station.
Big week.
Come on.
Big week.
Can I get congratulations?
Happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Do you know
I'm
how
not sour,
pathetic
man.
this is? You got a Tottenham fan sort of celebrating. You can't celebrate. You come in
Straight in. Bro, at least like maybe a cup of tea first. Like, bro, straight in.
No, mate, because your entire gait and approach is wrong. This is unjust. This isn't how it works. Darren sitting next to me, giving it the big one, is just about fair enough. They're champions. They can get away with it. You can't come in here as a Tottenham fan and celebrate. You've got to celebrate.
You're smiling. Where did you finish?
What did you celebrate?
Where did you finish?
I'm not celebrating.
Where did you finish?
No, we finished mid-table.
I'll put something to you. We had the same season as you.
I kind of agree with that. I just think it's crazy that you came in here. You came in here like the cat that got the cream.
No.
This is the thing.
I think what people are confused about. No one celebrated finishing 17th. We celebrated the fact that we're not going to be in the championship. You don't get that. What don't you get about that? No one wants to be 17th, but once we're in a relegation fight, you want me to be upset that we're staying up, bro? I'm happy, bro.
I think it's shameful that you can find anything to celebrate at the moment. And this is the thing that Tottenham fans are doing. They're sort of going, we kind of won. We won. We succeeded. We made it. Like, no, you lost. The fact that we're having this conversation. It's the fact that we're having this conversation.
He's coming in for a different level of smoke.
Yeah, he has.
I had an ice cream earlier.
He has. No, literally, I was enjoying the weather. Yeah, he's coming in on war, like,
honestly,
crazy.
I just can't believe it. I've witnessed you in real life. You've walked through the door like the cat.
You want me to come in here? It's 30 degrees outside. How do you want me to walk in?
I think you should come in here very reticent and basically say, "Oh my God, by the skin of our teeth, we got away."
Bro, you know I don't play for Spurs, right? You know that. I got my whole own thing going on.
No, I don't really get it. But what I do have to do is give a lot of credit to Roberto De Zerbi.
Yeah, fair enough. He done his job. He done well.
He changed the direction.
That was the last swing of the bat, innit? Like getting De Zerbi in, and he done his job.
Yeah. Do you think you would have gone down without him?
Yeah, probably. I think so. Probably. He galvanised everyone. I think he just brought everyone together, and people bought into him, which is important.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Well, we're into the final week of our fantastic competition. This Monday, someone winning the trip of a lifetime, the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Just under a couple of weeks away, talkSPORT and Adidas, the tournament's official match ball supplier, are sending you and a mate to Dallas, Texas. You could be at England's first game against Croatia on June 17 with return flights, accommodation, spending money, tickets, and the official Adidas match ball, the Tri-Onda, all thrown in. Ready to get that winning feeling? Well, here's how to enter.
For your chance to win, head to talksportwin.com or text WIN to 83338. Text and online entries cost £2.50 plus your network standard network rate.
Pardon?
Wrong way round.
Yes.
Or call 0343 418 7260. Entries must be in by 4 p.m. Monday. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a talkSPORT promotion. Full T's and C's at talksportwin.com. So for your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 right now. Good luck.
Coming up a little bit later on, we'll have some clips of the week for you, and Todd Macklin brings us all the stories from the American sport. We'll get a PSG angle. We spoke to Ian Stone from an Arsenal point of view earlier on, but we'll get a PSG angle with author Tom Scholes a little bit later on in the show. And, of course, that game is live tomorrow. Now, Harry Maguire is a big fan of a new AI app that helps coaches feedback to players. And here to tell us a little bit more about it, someone else also involved in the app is Matt White. Good afternoon, Matt.
Good afternoon.
You're the co-founder of Feeds, the app we're talking about. I love that the one of the reasons it came about, and it had nothing to do with top end of football. It had all to do with your daughter at a local gymnastics club. Tell us more.
That's exactly right. For at least 5 or 6 years, I've been paying at least about 500 quid a year and received no feedback. I still don't know if she can do the splits. I'd go and pick her up from the local church and ask, and there'd be 30 kids coming through out in their leotards, and there'd be two coaches, and they just didn't have the time to give feedback. And I thought, you know what? It's not because they don't want to; it's just they don't have the time to do it. So I started thinking, why is that? And how could we solve it? My background's in AI, and I thought, the technology exists now to be able to solve it.
So what happens is the coaches, because there's just, there's not a lot of time, they can go on to the app, they can sort of register on the app, they can put in some basic details of the people they're training, and there'll be obviously all safeguards around that as well. Right. But they can give feedback to a parent or whoever it is, another coach at a club, say, and then AI will turn that into a kind of mini report. Is that right?
Yeah, the voice note basically gets finessed by the AI and then generates a report onto the coach's phone, and then the coach can then distribute that report to the player and the parents in seconds. So it solves this issue of time, and a lot of the organisations that are using it now just seen it as a game changer, because what would have taken 2 weeks is now taking 20 minutes when they're doing it across multiple teams. And it's technology for good, essentially. AI gets a bad rep with a lot of the time, and this is really enabling the transparency to develop talent within sport, which didn't really exist when I was a schoolboy many years ago for Bristol Rovers.
How did you get Harry Maguire involved with them?
So I met Harry through a mutual friend, and we met, and he was interested because I think he wants to go into management. I think that's well documented. And he just saw it immediately. He said, coaches will use this. The reason why coaches don't give feedback is because they just don't have the time. And he said, if it would have been wonderful, I'd had this when I was a schoolboy. So that's how we met, and I met him this time last year, and his input has been invaluable for developing the app.
You're in at Manchester United and Tottenham academies. They've been looking at it. Sheffield United as well. That's where Harry's got connections, are working with it. But I see you're working with the Table Tennis England, Sussex and Surrey and Kent County Cricket Club. So it's got a life beyond football.
It's for all sports. The issue of feedback is been a problem across all sports because coaches just don't have the time. So Feed solves that issue. It's schools are taking it on, hockey, and it's actually gone global pretty quickly. Queensland hockey in Australia. There's quite a few US academies using it now. Sweden, Germany, even the Estonian FA.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I suppose that it's a balance, isn't it? Feedback. You don't want it to be relentless criticism. I suppose that ideally the feedback the coaches give has got a kind of mixture of pats on the back and kicks up the backside.
Well, we talk to the AI and we tell it what it is, and you tell the AI it has to be motivating and positive language. So what that means is if there are people giving bad feedback, which coaches do, swearing, it will not transcribe. There will be no report. So you can actually you have a tone which you can dial up or dial down. And we were doing some tests with Chelsea Women's, and they were like, listen, the report should be different for how we speak to a 6-year-old girl versus a 16-year-old girl who's been in the academy for 10 years. So we can do that by organisation, by age group, just dial up and down the tone of the language.
Can it kind of capture the coach's voice? I know it's in print, but do you know what I mean? It should have some of the personality of the coach involved, shouldn't it? Otherwise it all gets a little bit sort of bland.
Well, it's actually, if you download it and look at it, it finesses what you say. Okay. It keeps the personality of the coach. And it also ingests the organization's coaching methodology. So Sale Sharks are also testing it. And what we do is we take their coaching methodology, meld that with the AI, so that the output is actually from the coach, is language from the particular sporting club's coaching methodology. So it creates that personality for each club. And lots of coaches move away. But what this does, it gives consistency in language for that organisation.
So where people can find it wherever they get their apps, I guess.
Yeah, download it. You can go to feeds.club. It's in the Play Store and Apple Store. It's accessible from all those platforms.
I wonder if it can be used for kind of relationship feedback as well as time. Imagine like a newly married couple, they both download it and they're thinking, well, this is a good positive. We can just give feedback of what we like and what we don't like.
That'll work well.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
I had the idea that bring your mates.
You might find that the algorithm breaks on that one.
Bring your mates and bring your dinner comes out as, oh, bad luck, gentlemen.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, maybe that's a matter of putting it in some the classic John Sitton speech to the Orient players and seeing how it gets finessed by the app. But that's not what it's for. It's Feeds with
Sounds
a
good.
Z.
Very
Feed
good.
with a Z at the end. Go and find it wherever you get your apps. Good to talk to you, Matt. Thanks very much.
Many thanks.
There we are. There's Matt White there, who is involved in the Feeds app alongside Harry Maguire. We're going to be chatting to Paddy Power himself very shortly. They've got some stuff in and around the World Cup they're going to tell us about. Norman Giller will be here. He has a new book out on the 66 World Cup. He managed to get himself into the dressing room, the only journalist that did before he was chucked out by Sir Alf. And Charlie Herman's got quite the story. Played football for Birmingham City and Villa. Moved off the wing, went in goal. Was too short for a keeper. Became a boxing and then kickboxing promoter.
Amazing.
I mean, he's that old yet. Blimey. And he was a boxing promoter at 14. So anyway, he'll be in, and we'll have some clips of the week and lots more. And Gunther Steiner joining us for a chat from the world of F1 and these days MotoGP as well. Obviously, we've just seen Arsenal win the league for the first time, Gilberto, since you were in the side. How happy were you to see that?
Very happy. We were expecting this for such a long time, you know. It's a long way since when we won back in 2004. But they deserve, you know, the last few years has been very tough to them to become second and chasing the title. But in the end, you know, something happened, they lost. But I was very happy, you know, expecting this moment. And to be honest, I was glad they won it in advance before the last game because it would be a huge pressure. I think all of us are celebrating the moment and they deserve it.
Gilberto, can you believe it's been such a long time? Because Arsenal are a big football club and you look at it, you won it back in 2004 and there's been 22 years and Arsenal haven't won it. Could you believe that it's been such a long time that they've not at least won one in that period?
Yeah, it is, Darren, a long, long time. I think a club like Arsenal, you know, is when you see the magnitude of the team and the club itself, I see how it's possible. But for me, in my opinion, there are some reasons. After the title back in 2004, you know, the Arsenal started to change a little bit. You know, some transition in the team, but also in the club, because then the Emirates came. Yep. You know, all the financial situation became hard for us and the board to control the financial side, but also compete with the other teams, as Manchester United, then Chelsea, later on City spent a lot of money, and Arsenal could not do it. And slowly, Wenger started to replace my generation, let's say that, make the transition, which was quite normal. The players were here quite a long time. And the toughest thing after that, you know, after having Cesc Fabregas, Van Persie, and some other guys, eventually they left the club.
Yeah.
And he has to do it again. And it takes time to rebuild the team.
Yes, we'll be talking 66. I know our Scottish listeners never get tired of hearing about England winning the World Cup in 66. Just one more time. I say one more time. But before all of that, Max Scott has the sports headlines.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van range. Commercial vehicles built around your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van centre.
Thank you, Paul. Good afternoon. Andy Robertson's not giving much away on the future of his club because he's fully focused on leading Scotland to their first World Cup in 28 years. He told talkSPORT he's delighted that Steve Clarke's extended his contract as manager of the national team.
Future sorted, and he's going to be the Scotland manager for the next 4 years is good for all of us. And I think he had a big smile on his face yesterday. We all know he doesn't smile too often.
Stan Robertson will sign for Spurs, as will Marco Senesi. He's agreed a 4-year deal at the club. Elsewhere, Kieran Trippier's agreed a move to Championship-bound Wolves, while Ibrahima Konate set to leave Liverpool after failing to agree a new deal at the club. Elsewhere, Mikel Arteta's bottle has been questioned over the season, but Arsenal invincible Lee Dixon is confident Arteta's improved mentality will transmit to his players in their Champions League final.
I've been critical of him, of the handbrake and of the nervousness and the energy that he portrays to the players on the pitch. Sometimes I think doesn't help. But as I said, I think this season he's definitely calmed down a bit. I think his instructions to players has been a calmer way of dealing with things.
That huge final in Budapest against PSG is, of course, live on talkSPORT tomorrow. And after Luke Littler opened up about the impact of the abuse he's received this season, Alex Crook reckons the Nuke's second Premier League darts title puts him on course to become the greatest ever.
I think it's very brave to open up in the way that he did. He played tremendously last night. It was a final for the ages, and we were talking, weren't we, during the final? I think there's an argument that Luke Littler is going to go on and be even better than Phil the Power Taylor.
Get more on the website at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
AI facial technology will be used to check the age of small boat migrants next year, and NATO's ready to defend after a Russian drone hit a Romanian apartment. Amelia's got more at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit, where we've got a wider range of premium tyres than Britain has rainy days. Visit your local centre or book at quickfit.com today.
As the heat wave subsides, still dry and bright for most of us, cloudy over Scotland and the southeast where there are showers, still warm and a bit fresher in the far north.
Power on talkSPORT. Check out Paddy's latest offers on the Paddy Power app or at paddypower.com. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee, Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT, and from the Champions League final of the World Cup. There's a huge summer of football in the offing, and here with the latest odds and news is Paddy Power himself. Good afternoon, Paddy.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. News. Geez, I don't know what you're expecting from me. To begin news for me.
Well, we expect you have your ear to the ground and have lots of breaking news.
Of course.
You can probably give us some odds though on the Champions League final.
I can certainly give you some odds and ends. Yeah, I can indeed. I'm looking forward to this. It kind of sneaks up on you a bit, doesn't it? Because you feel like the season's over, and then suddenly, geez, the Champions League final to look forward to. But anyway, Paris Saint-Germain are favourites at 6-10, which is a weird price. It's about 8-13 in old money, and Arsenal are 6-5. That's just to win the cup, right? But obviously it'll be a 90-minute match. So we have the 90-minute odds, which is 13-10 for PSG, 9-4 for the draw, and then 21-10 for Arsenal. So Paris just favourites, but it's not strong enough favourites, I guess. But Arsenal still with a massive chance. So 20, a bit bigger than 2-1, probably represents for Arsenal fans a little bit of value. But I have to say, that the Paris Bayern Munich match did feel like that kind of was going to be the final, didn't it? But it's a funny way of working things out. Arsenal getting their noses over the line in the league will certainly give them that bit of belief that they probably need.
Just, two, as you said, very contrasting styles, and they say styles make fights in boxing. Could make for a really good game of football.
Game, I hope so.
Yeah,
it could. I hope I just hope Arsenal aren't too negative. I hope they go out and try and play a bit. You know what I mean? Because, or maybe we would just hope this sounds awful to any Arsenal fan. Maybe hope Paris score first, so Arsenal have to go chase it a bit, because I mean, you'd love to see. I think most finals end up 1-0, don't they? I think in the Champions League, I think the finals are pretty low scoring historically. So let's hope this bucks that trend and we get maybe a 5-4 or something like that.
Yeah,
that would be nice.
The Republic of Ireland have just had a friendly against Qatar, haven't they? So they're playing. They've got Canada soon. They're playing a bit of football, but they won't be there, sadly. The boys in green. But how are you feeling about the World Cup, Paddy?
Yeah, it's funny. Probably because they're not there, even though there's more teams than ever before in the World Cup. We're just outside. But because they're not there, the hype over this side of the sea has been probably a little bit more subdued than you're getting. I know you've had all the England squad announcement, and to be fair, it's a sign of the depth of talent that's there. The fact that there's such controversial leave-outs to the squad, isn't it? But so we haven't quite got the hype about it. But I'm trying to stay on top of it as much as I can. And the way it's looked at the moment is France are the ones for money. So Spain were always favourites, but Spain and France are now joint favourites at 9-2. England are 13-2, and then it's Brazil 8, Argentina 9, and Portugal 10 in the odds. So it's obviously wide open as you'd expect. But there's all the talk over here seems to be about the stuff that I'm sure that the UEFA don't want people talking about, but FIFA rather don't want people talking about, like the price of tickets and all that kind of stuff and dynamic ticket pricing and da. But if I remember correctly, to approximately 4 years ago, there wasn't a huge amount of talked about football in the build-up to that tournament, but the football soon takes over, doesn't it? Once it kicks off, we all kind of get excited. And I mean, and this one might have a long lead in because there's so many teams and so many kind of, I guess, not that sexy matches, if you like, between some of the lesser countries. But when it gets to the business end of events, it's going to be just as exciting as it always is, I'm sure.
I've been reading about your new TV ad. It sounds very starry. Rob Lowe.
Blimey, that's quite a booking from the West Wing.
I know, and you know what? I actually would love to have met Rob Lowe, but I didn't even find out the ad was happening until after I saw it pop up on YouTube. Remember they used to have me in the ads, maybe when I was younger.
That's true.
I was younger, better looking with more hair, I think, back then. But anyway.
Yeah, that's not so bad. Who else is in it? Is
Danny Dyer.
Danny Dyer, Peter Crouch, obviously the usuals, and a couple more. We have who else? Jeez, I've got to tell you about it. Like do they call them Easter eggs in the business?
Oh,
when you're looking at there's such and such, there's such and such. Yeah, so it's a good old bunch of it's a good old ad. Of course it is. It always is.
Have you got any mischief planned for the World Cup? Or you're keeping your powder dry on that? Normally you do.
We do. We've bits and pieces planned, but we have to keep our powder dry on the details. But watch this space, and we shall all shall be revealed, maybe literally.
Yes, okay.
Gianni Infantino wearing a pair of Paddy Power underpants over his trousers.
That we just see the hint of the waistband, Well,
there's one thing you can guarantee with that man, I'd say, is that if the money was right.
Yeah, I don't doubt for a minute. He'd be there at the World Cup dressed as a leprechaun with your logo on, wouldn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
Nice one, Paddy. We'll catch up with you soon. All the best.
Thanks, gents. Good luck.
There we are. That's Paddy Power there. Thank you very much for joining us. All the latest offers, and to find out more, go to paddypower.com, 18+, begamblerware.org.
Paddy Power on talkSPORT. Check out Paddy's latest offers on the Paddy Power app or at paddypower.com. 18+, begamblerware.org.
Anything else you've noticed, Andy?
Yes, all the papers got pictures of Susan Boyle and her makeover.
Yeah.
She was in my neck of the woods, Chiswick, this week.
Was she really?
And I promise you.
Did you hear her singing?
Well, I didn't know, but I don't know how she managed it. She was in a fur coat. I mean, Susan Boiling.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything like it.
Yeah.
Oh, she was dressed
It's not fur coat weather, is it?
No,
I suppose when you got it, flaunt it, as they say.
Well, I suppose so, yeah. She's done very well, hasn't she?
Yeah.
That's true. Europe's oldest man has died. He was 113.
Really? Where did he live in Europe? Where should we head to have longevity?
I want to Romania.
Okay, so that's
born
the
in
place
the
to
village of Cremonari in May 28, 1913. He attributed his longevity.
Here we go. So I'll see if I can think what it is. Little nipple whiskey every night. We've had that one, haven't we?
Yeah,
Glass
porridge.
of red wine. Porridge is another one they say.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it wasn't porridge and whiskey. He attributed his longevity partly to moderation, stating he was a non-smoker who drank only occasionally. Must have been a long 113 years.
No one wants to hear about the moderation guy that lives for 113. They're much more into the whiskey and their porridge guy, aren't they, really? That's it. It makes life a whole lot more bearable.
Good story, though. And I did show you before the show, we talked about this.
But we don't talk about that.
No, a few weeks ago about something in my cupboard that was,
Oh yeah,
sell-by date.
your wife is something of a Mr. Trebish, something of a hoarder, isn't she? She likes to hoard, and well, she's kept you for long enough.
That's very true.
And your sell-by date's been up for years.
Long gone. So we'd run out of salt. So she suggested that I use this low salt that she had.
Yeah.
That's been in the cupboard, I don't know, for a few years. I looked at the bottom bit. Was it 3rd of the 5th to 1998? Wow. It's 28 years old.
28-year-old salt.
No.
Does salt go off? I mean, it's used for a lot.
Lumpy.
Don't they sort of dig up pharaohs and find salt in there? Or am I just making that up?
I suppose it'd be hard for salt to go off. I agree with that.
I would imagine.
It did have a sell-by date on it. It must have been for a reason.
Did you try it?
I was about to pour it into something when I thought, I better check this.
Okay.
There it was. So I did.
Marvellous. That ruined your chips, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no. And do you want to know how much beer Brits are going to drink during the World Cup?
Okay.
All right. It's a sporting measurement.
Shall I try and guess?
Yeah.
Is this cumulatively, not individually?
Brits will sup, and then it gives you a sporting measurement.
In pints?
In pints, yeah.
24 million pints. Is that higher or lower?
It's not sporting enough. It's got to be a sporting measurement.
Okay, the size of 5 Olympic swimming pools.
Yeah, you're on the right line.
10 Olympic swimming pools.
Very close. 11. Well done.
Okay.
That's how they measure it, really.
Yeah.
It's incredible, isn't it? But
it's always the way they do that.
Another one from my old mate Jerry Lawton from The Star.
Oh, the bloke from The Star. Yeah, not just your mate Jerry. Thank you for clearing that one up.
Fabulous.
Anyway, Norman Giller will be here to tell us about his new book, World Cup 1966. The ultimate I was there story. To the point, he was actually there. He was in the dressing room, for goodness sake.
He really was. I mean, that's the whole
Then he
thing.
got booted out of the dressing room by Sir Alf. So we're going to be chatting about that and looking for any potential omens for this World Cup. And so, yeah, Norman will be popping in to see us. And say boxing promoter, kickboxing promoter, Charlie Herman, former Chelsea Academy kid, has got quite the story. He'll be here later on. And don't forget, 4 o'clock, they're back at Soccer Aid training. We caught up with comedian Leeds fan Maisie Adam yesterday. They had lots of great stars. They had the Prime Minister on, didn't they?
Yeah, I love Soccer Aid. I think it's a
great.
Great event.
Well, it's live on talkSPORT Sunday night, and the boys will be building up to that from 4 with Drive. But Norman with us shortly. We're here with Tool Station. Only got time for one stop. First stop, Tool Station.
David is an Arsenal fan. He's written the next big Arsenal song to rival North London forever. Good morning, David. How are you?
Good morning, David. Let's talk about the right side of North London now, people. Championes, championes.
Tell us about the song that you've written. Can you give us a blast on air?
Oh, I'd love to. So it's called "We're Going All the Way" by my artist named Guna Gonna Sing. So if you're finding out, have a listen, blast out. And there's a little bit of an intro with a bit of commentary from the end of the Atletico Madrid Arsenal game. And then it goes into it like this. Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Unfortunately, we're ready.
Okay, here we go. We're going all the way. The champions of England say, Arsenal!
Arsenal!
Rewriting history. Unbeaten every game we've played. Arsenal!
Arsenal!
Mikel Arteta is our man. The Gunners going on for victory. North London is redder than ever. We're making history.
Oh.
You'll see, but we're going all the way. The champions of England say, Arsenal!
Arsenal!
And there you go. You get the drift?
David.
When are you on top of the pops, mate? Deary me.
Listen, Catchy, isn't it? Catchy.
Not one bit, mate.
I quite like that, David.
Terrible.
Listen, you're going to have to do more than that to get Gabby on
Terrible,
side this
David.
morning. He's
You'll be singing it in your sleep in no time.
Do me one favour, David. Never sing that again, please. Thank you, mate.
David.
Singing it every day, all night long.
Yeah, don't let the anti-arse.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. Because this summer, you and a mate could be jetting off to watch England versus Croatia live at the FIFA World Cup 2026 in Dallas, including tickets, flights, accommodation and more, courtesy of Adidas. Go to talksport.com/win to enter now, and you could be soaking up the incredible atmosphere at the FIFA World Cup 2026. For the chance to win every football fan's trip of a lifetime, enter now at talksport.com/win.
Hawksbee Jacobs here on Talks. We're just chatting off air with our guest. As we said, was the only journalist who got into the England dressing room after the 1966 World Cup. He was mates with a lot of the players till he got booted out by the manager, of course, Sir Alf Ramsey. And we were chatting off air about the way the relationships have changed, the expectations of a manager of the international team to be available for the press or answer all the questions. Norman Giller is the man in question. He's booked World Cup 1966 with an introduction by the last man standing, sadly, of that team, Sir Geoff
He
Hurst.
deserves the epithet, the venerable.
I think he's very much. He's reached the venerable stage, and that's a compliment. Good to see you, Norman. How are you?
Let me know what disease.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's
It's highly thought of.
Yeah, that's. So I mean, we were just saying that Sir Alf Ramsey, the man who won the World Cup for England, was very dismissive of you lot. He didn't really want you about, and he had quite a combative relationship with you.
I had what would be called the wooden spoon assignment.
Right.
Because quotesman at Wembley would normally be the thing everybody fights for.
Yeah.
But I got it because nobody else wanted it. Because in those days, Alf Ramsey used to clam up, and he used to keep all his thoughts to himself.
Oh, wow.
And don't forget, the World Cup had been stolen just a few weeks beforehand.
Yeah.
Argentina tried to break the door down after the quarter-final. The Queen was in the house.
Yeah.
So put those three together, and everybody was neurotic about being
saying the right thing, doing the right thing.
Any pressman anywhere, you were blocked.
Right.
But I tied myself to a gentleman called Lem Went, who was a press officer at Wembley.
Right.
And I'd known him from my boxing days, and we were good pals. And I lashed myself to him, and he took me past all the Jobsworths.
Right. And got you into the dressing room.
Yeah, well, I saw the Queen in a canary yellow as she getting into a Rolls Royce, and she gave me a great smile. Well, it might have been to the people behind.
Yeah, it could have been
but
the
I
people
kidded
behind,
myself. I got the smile.
Yeah.
And then I joined Bobby just as he reached the dressing room. So I went into the dressing room with Bobby, and I kissed Bobby, and then I cuddled the World Cup. It might be the other way around. And then I went to shake Georgie Cohen, who was a good old buddy of mine, by the hand. And Alf got in between us. He said, Norman, he said, please. He said, if I let you in here, there are 500 other people who are entitled to come in. Out.
All right, so off you went. I'll tell you what, it does, telling us that story hints at another thing, the relationship between the players, the top players and the press then, because it's a far more distant relationship now. There's layers of people. But you were one of Jimmy Greaves' best friends, and you were mates with all of those players. I suppose you would ghost columns for them, and there was a much closer relationship.
Can I just turn Andy Green? I was pals with Greasy for 64 years from when he was at Chelsea.
Yeah, right.
And they were his best years at Chelsea. Sorry, Tottenham fans, but it was.
You got close to them in a way that you couldn't really do now. It'd be hard as a journalist to be that close, wouldn't it?
It was much easier than now, though, because now they have PRs and in the way.
So you could build these relationships.
Exactly, and I had the home phone numbers for all the players.
Yeah,
but nowadays they can't get past their agents.
Yeah,
no, it's true. You made an interesting observation about Alf Ramsey there off air, and about how you wished he'd been more proud of what he'd achieved rather than.
Alf famously or infamously had a Romany background, and he used to hide it instead of being proud, like Tyson Tyson Fury. He proclaims himself king of the gypsies. Well, Alf could have been king of the gypsies, but instead of that, he was ashamed of it, and he would never ever discuss it.
There was a book a little while ago, an autobiography of him that talked about his sort of his Romany background. Yeah, it often struck me as well. You think how this would have been monetised? I mean, I'm sure the boys did make a few quid, maybe not as much as they did off the back of winning the World
Cup. They got £1,000 bonus, £1,000 each.
Which then was a fair bit of money.
A fair bit of money, but then
buy you a nice terrace house somewhere.
But then the taxman tried to take a third of it, and Bobby Moore had to go to the High Court to make sure all the players, and there were 22 of them, all got their full bonus.
But the way that sort of sponsorship would come off the back of a World Cup, if England win the World Cup in a few weeks' time, the money they'll make off. I mean, none of these.
Beautiful dreamer.
Yeah, you've got to be positive, no?
You never know.
But Bobby Moore, like we told that story about Sir Alf Ramsey going to Pinewood Studios with the players and saying, "I'd making a speech, and we'd like to thank." The actor Sean Connery, and then Bobby Moore immediately said, "That's the funniest thing I've ever shorn or heard." But he'd be all over. I mean, if Bobby had been around now, I mean, even if he'd lived a bit longer, sadly, than he did, he would have had a great media career. He'd been in all the Paddy Power ads. He was a great character.
It's disgraceful the way they treated Bobby. I mean, he applied for the job of England manager, and he didn't even get a response from the FA, and. That he was ignored when he was alive and worshipped when he was dead. And it's just not fair. They built statues to him. They should have built statues to him when he was alive.
Yeah, of course.
Did you think... Sorry, Andy, you carry on.
I was just going to say, there's a nice section in the book where you sort of speak to people like yourself that were there on the day, because that's useful, isn't it? Because it's a diminishing number of people.
Reportage, isn't it?
Well, the astonishing thing is that I now have to own up to my age, because there's only Jeff and I left. All the press guys, all the Des Hackett's, Jeffrey Greens, Hugh McIlvenney's, they've all gone to the great press box in the sky.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So there's very few people to tell this story.
Exactly,
you were there at the time.
I heard you on another radio station, Norman, last year announcing your engagement or your marriage. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a wonderful child bride called Joyce, who's 91 years old, and she's brought summer sunshine into my late years, and it's wonderful.
It's lovely.
And you regale her with these tales. Is she a football fan, Norman?
She has to be, because when football's on the box, which is all the time now.
Yeah.
She has to sit and watch it, and she's fairly knowledgeable.
Now you nervous last week? Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Nervous last week
about Spurs. Will you get because
you've made me come out in spots, Andy.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. I mean, Paul knows, because Paul is a Spurs man.
Yeah.
And it was tough, but I think they've now got a manager who will lift that veil of secrecy that's been surrounding Spurs ever since Daniel Levy's in charge.
It does need a real shake-up, doesn't it?
And I think that next season we're going to see a new Spurs. I hope so.
Early moves in the transfer window are a good indicator.
Yeah.
I think sometime next we're going to get your take on this, because I know you're around for Mexico 70, and we're going to chat hopefully next week to Gordon Banks. I believe his grandson is involved in a podcast, and the podcast explores the theory that Gordon Banks was nobbled, targeting a plot to help Brazil win the trophy. They say by the CIA, poisoned by the CIA, because he missed that semi-final against. Quarter-final against West Germany, and out we went. Poor old Peter Bonetti never.
They say it was CIA. It could have been anybody from any South American or Central American country.
Yeah.
Because they hated Alf. Alf called the Argentinians animals after the
There was
final.
after 66 rat
and they've threatened to burn down the embassy in Buenos Aires. It's
wow. But so you think he was nobbled, Gordon, before that game? Do you think they got to him?
Well, it's a bit of a coincidence.
Yeah.
They had a doctor called Dr. Neil Phillips who used to watch everything everybody ate, everything they drank, and the one guy who they got to was Gordon Banks.
Wow.
I wrote a book with Gordon called Banks of England, and he said then that he'd been given a drink.
Wow.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
He missed that game, blimey. So let Jordan Pickford, if he's listening, beware what you eat or drink before the big games.
The other thing we should say is you mentioned the Queen in yellow, in a canary yellow. Channel 4 are going to show, once again, that colourised version of the 1966 final, which is pretty amazing.
It was a film called Goal.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was the official film.
And it was scripted by Brian Glanville of the Sunday Times. It was choreographed by the jazz bassist Johnny Hawksworth.
Oh yeah,
with a wonderful bass. And if you see when Matin is sent off in the quarter final, there's this double bass. And that's all you can hear.
Wow.
And it's a wonderful piece. But Alf telling me to get out the dressing room, he also told the official film cameraman of Goal to get out.
So they won't access all
So if you watch Goal, there's only 10 seconds of dressing room celebrations.
Wow.
Because Alf threw everybody out.
Did you have any kind of? I mean, you know all the England boys, but did you have any sort of relationship with any of the? Did you speak to the German players after?
Well, Franz Beckenbauer, every time he came over here, I was partners in a business with Peter Lorenzo. Do you remember?
Yeah,
Peter?
of course. Yeah,
lovely man. And every time Franz came over, because he was so close to Peter, he would come to our office. So I knew Franz well. What a gentleman.
Yeah.
Yeah, we speak to Matt, of course.
His son. That's why he's a regular guest on the show. Well, Norman, we wish you well with the book.
Yeah, can I just give a little plug to Norman Giller at normangillerco.uk.
Yes.
And that's where you can order the book.
Okay, so people can find it. If they want some happy memories of 66 before this World Cup.
And it's my old age pension, remember?
Yeah. That's it. normangiller.co.uk, Giller.
Good old.
And you can pick up Norman's book to reflect. And there's sort of eyewitness. And apart from Norman's, as Andy said, there's lots and lots of other people. It's a complete record of what went on, and some great old press cuttings and some great old photographs. People dancing in Trafalgar Square fountains and stuff after.
I mean, the one that's stuck in everybody's memory is the Nobby Stiles with his teeth out. Remember that?
Yeah. Absolutely. There's so many. The famous Sean Connery picture. That's right. That's that famous picture of Jimmy Greaves, Bobby Moore, Yul Brynner, the actor, and Sean Connery all together. So brilliant. All the best, Norman. Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you, and keep well, pair of you, and enjoy the World Cup.
Indeed,
Thank
and
you.
World Cup 66 with an introduction by Sir Geoff Hurst. Norman Giller, the ultimate I Was There story, available now from normangiller.co.uk. We will be bringing you some clips of the week later on. Gunther Steiner from the world of F1 and now MotoGP joining us for a chat as well.
Joey is on the line now. Joey, you're an Arsenal fan. Good morning. How's things?
Good morning, Joe.
Morning, and no good morning to you, Gabi Abonlaho. You've been doing my head in since Saturday, the 17th of August 2013. And that was the season I got my season ticket. You came into that game, you mesmerized our defense. We lost 3-1. I got home and my wife asked me, "Oh wow, Gabi Abonlaho has done this to you." And every time I have a bad day out there and I get home, the first thing my wife asked me is Gabi be doing your head in? Gabi, you're doing my head in, and
I don't mean.
You've turned yourself to become the big ambassador of anti-Arsenal. Like, you just go after Arsenal. You go after Arsenal every single day. Gabi, for goodness sake. This morning we're talking about Gordon. You went all the British press, tried bringing down British players. And then, in the same minute, you are saying you don't want Arsenal to win the Champions League. Gabi, that is a conflict of contradiction. You haven't an apparent bias against Arsenal. And you've been doing my head in since 2013, Gabi.
Joe,
For goodness
listen.
sake, let me have a break.
I don't want you to have a bad day because of me. I want you to enjoy your day. The weather's good.
After a very emotional week, Andy Robertson's told talkSPORT it's important he draws a line under Liverpool, and more importantly, the club draw a line under their 8-time trophy-winning left-back.
It's been an unbelievable 9-year journey. The farewell on Sunday was, really emotional for me and my family. But yeah, I suppose now my full focus is on Scotland.
Ahead of their first World Cup in a generation, Andy Robertson says Steve Clarke's new contract is great news for the squad.
We've been able to create a special atmosphere in terms of within the squad, and all the lads are so close, but without him, it's not possible.
Scotland's first World Cup game against Haiti is live on talkSPORT on June 14th. Now, Lionel Messi will play in his 6th World Cup. Despite indecision over going again at 38, Messi will be there to help Argentina try and retain their title this summer. Elsewhere, Anthony Gordon's expected to complete his move from Newcastle to Barcelona today. We understand Barca are paying Newcastle $70 million for their winger. And Luke Littler almost walked away from Premier League darts this season. Despite poor form, an onstage bust-up with Michael van Gerwen and abuse from the fans, Littler stuck at it before beating Luke Humphries 11-10 in a thrilling final.
I think I said on stage tonight, the tears, I'm not asking for sympathy, I just told the world, I told everyone how I was feeling during the Premier League, and yeah, the biggest outcome is next to me.
There's more at talksport.com.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Yeah, just to remind you, you've only got until Monday to win this fantastic prize. It's a trip to the World Cup. We could be sending you and a mate to Dallas, Texas with the good people at Adidas, the tournament's official match ball supplier, and of course us here at talkSPORT. You'll be at England's first game against Croatia on June 17. If you win, with return flights, accommodation, spending money, tickets, and Adidas's official match ball, the Tri-Onda, all thrown in. Andy, how'd you win that fine prize?
Well, for your chance to win, head to talksportwin.com or text WIN to 83338. Text and online entries cost £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 418 7260. Entries must be in by 4 p.m. Monday. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a TalkSport promotion. Full T's and C's at talksportwin.com. Your chance to win. Text WIN to 83338 right now.
Yep, from the world of F1 and MotoGP, Gunther Steiner, the cult hero, of course, one of the breakout stars, the Drive to Survive, will be joining us for a chat. Always good to chat to him, but he's involved in MotoGP, so he'll tell us more about that later on in the show. But we spoke to Ian Stone, Arsenal fan who's Budapest bound for the Champions League final live on talkSPORT tomorrow. Thought only right to get a PSG angle on the game from someone who's written 2 books on the club. The Parisian Revolution and City of Stars. It is our very own Tom Scholes. Hello, Tom.
How are we, guys? Thank you for having me on.
No, it's a pleasure. So, I mean, so you've written as much as anybody on the club. I mean, how are you sort of viewing tomorrow? Because as everybody has been saying, it's a real clash of styles, isn't it?
That's exactly it. I think the clash of styles actually makes it such an intriguing game. You've got a team that is pragmatic, and I know they had the nickname Set Piece FC for a reason, but they're so prominent at scoring from corners, from deep free kicks or wherever, against a team that is universally renowned to be probably the best to watch, certainly the best attacking unit in Europe. I think the clash of styles is what makes it so entertaining. It is actually what makes it so difficult to call.
I agree with that. It is. They're amazing. I mean, people have talked about this. It's not an original thought, but the transformation under Luis Enrique, the move away from the Galactico era into this collective thing has been brilliant, hasn't it?
And also kind of the owners for wanting it and letting it happen, because, we only have to look at Madrid sometimes to see that they still hanker for that Galactico model even now, even at times when it doesn't work for them. But PSG kind of ripped it up a bit, didn't they?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think what the big turning point, well, the 2 big turning points really, was Luis Campos being appointed the sporting director. He was the guy that built the Monaco team that, if you remember, had Bernardo Silva, Fabinho, it had Mbappe and Falcao up front. He's the guy that created that and beat Paris Saint-Germain to the title. He also created the Lille team that beat Paris Saint-Germain to the title a few years ago. So it really is a case of, if you can't beat him, sign him up and get him to create your team. But another big step that happened was President Nasser Al-Khelaifi kind of taking a step back. There was many times where there'd be transfer windows where his fingerprints were all over everything they did. Like that summer that they brought, Wijnaldum, Messi, Donnarumma, Hakimi and Ramos, superstar names, and only really 2 of them have made an impact. One of them, in Donnarumma, has left the club in the past season. So I think that kind of movement away from as Al-Khelaifi called it, the bling bling era of Paris Saint-Germain, to a more cohesive unit that you see across football now, where it's everybody presses as one. If one person presses forward, someone else can fill in. The 2 fullbacks can bomb on, as we'll see tomorrow night, and they will be absolutely comfortable in the knowledge of knowing that their space is covered behind them. That whole shift in mentality and the shift of how to create a culture at the club really stemmed from those 2 moments.
PSG have swept aside Premier League opposition virtually every time they played them, but they did lose to Chelsea in the final last summer. We were wondering whether that's going to have some effect, because that was a real shock to the system. And you could see when they played Chelsea this season, they were determined to get their revenge.
I think this is exactly it. I think what the things to remember about the Club World Cup final was that was a season of, I think Paris Saint-Germain played every single game they possibly could that year. So by the time that game comes around in New Jersey, the searing heat of America had taken its toll on that team. And not to take anything away from Chelsea, because their game plan on the day, they played it perfectly. This is a Paris Saint-Germain team that, as Aston Villa can tell you from last season, if you attack them with pace and intent, yes, there is a lot of risk because they can hit you on the counter, but they can be got at. If you go at them with intent, they can beat you. Whether this Arsenal team can do that is a different angle. Whether this Arsenal team looks at it and goes, we're not going to attack them with flying wingers or pace. We're going to attack them with physicality. We're going to attack them with sticking Gyökeres on one of the centre-backs and, Gabriel and Saliba coming up from the back for set pieces. Maybe that's what they target. But this is a team that can be got at, and there are many ways to exploit that in different ways, as Chelsea showed last summer.
You mentioned Hakimi earlier on. Sadly, he's not going to be playing. Probably be Zaire Emery playing down there.
He's still injured. That's true.
Yeah. I don't think Nuno Mendes is going to make it, but he won't make it. Hakimi, will he?
I think there's varied reports on in recent weeks. He was after the Bayern Munich second leg, he came off with what looked like a hamstring injury. So it really is a race against time to get him fit, if he's fit at all. What I would say with that is, on one hand, it does kind of hamper them in an attacking sense because we've seen how well those two go forward. But Zaire Emery, when he filled in at right back against Bayern Munich in the second leg, put in such a good performance, and it really it was the epitome of what made that second leg performance in Bavaria so good, is that he was so defensively sound for someone of such a young age, but has many appearances to his name. He never panicked. He dealt with the attacking threat well of Diaz and Elise whenever they switched sides. So yes, it would be a step down, of course, if Hakimi's not playing, and it would be a huge loss for Paris Saint-Germain, but they're not. Then the person deputising isn't exactly a slouch either.
I was trying to cheer up the Arsenal fan Ian Stone earlier on by saying that Safanov, who tends to be his chosen keeper, can be a bit flappy from set pieces, which is, music to the ears of Arsenal fans. Is that fair or not?
What I would say with Safanov is that whilst he does deal with crosses certainly better than Donnarumma has done in previous years, for someone of his height, Donnarumma, when it comes to crosses, as we saw this season and plenty of times previously, one of the best shot stoppers in the world, but you can put a ball on him and he can be bullied out of the air. With Safanov, I think he is effective at claiming crosses and getting crosses away. He just doesn't look comfortable doing it. It's a really, really, really weird mix with the guy, where he's a very good goalkeeper. He's exactly what you want from a goalkeeper in terms of he can distribute the ball, which is important for Enrique's side. He can deal with crosses better than Donnarumma can, and he can make stops. He's everyone kind of forgets that's the primary reason for a goalkeeper, but he just doesn't look comfortable with it. It kind of reminds me, it's the goalkeeping way of a little bit, and this sounds harsh, but it's not intended to be, of Victor Gyökeres, where you watch him play and you kind of go, he doesn't look very quick, he doesn't look like a comfortable footballer, but he gets the job done. Yeah. You'll come away from the game going, actually, he put in a pretty good shift, and I don't understand what the fuss was about. He's not the most solid keeper in the air, don't get me wrong. If there's one team that can exploit that, it just happens to be the one that Paris Saint-Germain are playing at the weekend.
Having said that, though, you do sense, because grappling in the box, especially in the Premier League after what happened in the Arsenal-West Ham game, we know UEFA have been looking at it. We know there's been all this talk with IFAB about stopping it happening. It's Daniel Siebert's the ref, a German ref, tomorrow night. It's hard to believe he's not been briefed to say, look, we don't want all that. We don't want something decided by, get on top of it.
The blocking and the obstructing of the keeper, all that.
There's more to Arsenal's game than that, but that it does give them a real advantage, and you kind of sense they're going to be quite hot on that, the officials tomorrow.
They'll be watching that with a keen eye. They'll be making sure that every defender, their arms are in the right position, that no one is obstructing the goalkeeper. What I would say about Arsenal is, whilst they have been categorised as, as I said earlier, set-piece FC, and as you just said there's more to Arsenal than just grappling and flooding the 6-yard box. They're so good at creating different kinds of set-pieces that they'll have noticed that UEFA will be firmly on this, especially after what happened against West Ham and especially after the noise that comes with it. What I would say is they're so clever at creating different ways to gain an advantage. I wouldn't be surprised if they've created a new set-piece or a new corner routine that kind of it is no grappling is involved, and they will flood the back post or they flood the front post. They'll find a way to get around it.
I hope we don't see any terrible handball penalties. That would be so frustrating if
let's hope it's a VAR-free experience. Are you going for PSG? Having written extensively on finally, Tom?
I have been mulling over this for the past week because I don't want to jinx it. I really don't want to. I don't want to come to work on Monday with Arsenal being European champions. I'll be brutally honest. I can't see a way where it's settled by more than one goal. Yeah. But I can't see where I've gone for 2-1 Paris Saint-Germain because I think both teams are so capable of just grabbing a goal. I think the attacking prowess, and you've seen what Kvaratskhelia can do when he gets in full flow. We've seen what they did to Arsenal last year in the second leg. There's no way that there's a clean sheet in this game. I'm hedging my bets with a 2-1 PSG win.
Okay, Tom, good to talk to you. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Tom Scholes there, the author of The Parisian Revolution and City of Stars, 2 books on PSG. The game is live tomorrow evening in Budapest, and we'll be right across that for you, live commentary. Adrian Durham, Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce are your team for that one. You'll react straight after the match here on talkSPORT. Get your calls in. And then we've got Soccer Aid for you on Sunday as well. But we're going to be chatting very shortly to a man who turned from being a young outfield player, then a young goalkeeper, then no longer a footballer at all. He was at Chelsea for a while as well. Went into the world of boxing promotion at 14 and has now moved into kickboxing, and he'll be telling us more about that. Charlie Herman will be in the studio with us.
Now, one of the most important parts of the interview, you must be happy. It's been 22 years since your beloved Arsenal lifted the Premier League title. Finally, it's come back home. I mean, how are you feeling?
It is fantastic, and this squad is really, really good. They've had real resilience. I do genuinely think they're the best team in the Premier League this year. I'm really glad to see them win it, and hats off to them, because they did really well. The pressure was then really on with 5 or 6 games to go. Suddenly it looked like starting the title race all over again. They pulled through and they've done brilliantly, and 22 years is a long time to wait. It is a long time. But we've done it.
Let's hope you have to wait a bit longer. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I have to get your views before we let you go on the pressure that you put on TNT Sports to make that final free on Saturday. I just want to get your views on that. I know you're going to echo that, but of course TNT price it at what, $4.99, which some could argue is really good value. So what's your view on that?
I just think it should be free. It's always been free every year up to this year, and I say this not as an Arsenal fan. All fans want to watch the Champions League final. It's a big event. It should be free, and that's why I wrote to them to say, please make it free. I'll renew that, actually. I really do think they should do that. I think it's the right thing to do. And look, I mean, it could be a fantastic topping off of the week. We had Villa, we had Palace, and then if Arsenal go and do it, we got an English treble there. What a great thing that will be.
Okay, and last question, we've got the World Cup coming up. How important is it that we bring home the World Cup to lift the nation?
Oh, so important. It would be fantastic. Obviously last done under a Labour government. Let's hope it can be done under a Labour government again. But look, he's got a great squad. He's got some real talent in there, some really exciting mix of people who've been there before, people coming in for the first time. Really interesting lineup there. Great players. Let's go out there. Let's bring it back home. We've tried it so often, but we've got to bring it back.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Paul Hawksbee, Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Our next guest was worn down by the academy system in football. He'd been at Birmingham City and West Brom, Chelsea, Cov, Leicester, Burton Albion, Stratford Town, but he got out of football and went into the world of boxing promotion, age 14. It is quite the story. He's now got his own format of kickboxing, and he's linked up with us here at talkSPORT to bring you live and free coverage of his next event on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. It's Charlie Herdman. Hello, Charlie.
How are you guys doing?
Yeah, good. You're 19. You've done a ridiculous amount of things in 19 years. 14 years old you were when you promoted your first white-collar boxing event. I mean, obviously you didn't have a licence, so you probably had to do it in somebody else's name, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first two events I done a charity white collar with my dad, which is kind of ironic because we've kind of gone back full circle, and now it's me and my dad on a joint venture with 8 Strikes. But I was doing pro events using somebody else's licence because I wasn't old enough to have my own.
Right.
And then about 3 years ago, I went to a kickboxing event, got the bug, and literally the very next day bought into a kickboxing franchise and started doing kickboxing events.
Wow. And you've got quite a following. You had lots of subscribers online following what you were doing, didn't you?
We did, yeah. I grew that to 16,000 subscribers at one point, and then I left about 9 months ago, linked up with Jim Freeman, who's used to run BKB, that's live on talkSPORT. And yeah, we launched 8 Strikes, had our test event back in March, 250,000 people watched it live, and we're now 2 weeks away from... number 2.
Yeah. Now, we'll come on to 8 Strikes in a moment, but let's go back into your football career. You started out as a winger and then transitioned to a keeper, but the feeling was you were a bit too small. Is that right?
Yeah. It's quite weird being 12 years old, being sat down into a room with, people tied up and suited up with executives from football clubs going, your mum and your dad are too short, so we're going to release you. And that's literally as brutal.
That's as scientific as it gets.
Yeah.
You're pretty tall now, though.
Have they not seen Baron Trump? I mean, really? It doesn't always mean because mum and dad aren't quite as big that you're not going to be big. I mean, that's. I thought there was a bit more science involved. I mean, how tall are you now? I mean, you don't look a particularly short lad.
That depends who's asking the question. Yeah. 5'9", let's go with that.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Or maybe
it's a bit short.
Maybe it is a bit short. Maybe they got it right. Yeah. But, I mean, you've got no regrets. I mean, was it kind of hard? It must be hard. It's like there must be parents out there or people who've gone through that. Being rejected so young, it must be, especially like you were at Chelsea, it must be difficult.
Absolutely. Look, I started with under 6 was my first season at it, and doing training 5 times a week, playing on the Sunday, being taken halfway out of school to be driven to training. You live in the life of a professional when you're 7, 8, 9 years old. Yeah. So then to be told just before you start high school, you're not good enough, is quite a bit of a blow. But that is what then got me into combat sports. And look, the silver lining is I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't that happening.
Did you compete? Were you into sort of Muay Thai and kickboxing? And
so I had 6 amateur boxing fights, and then I've actually got arthritis now, which at the grand old age of 19 is a bit crazy.
Blimey.
But yeah, I can't close my fist, so a one-handed boxer isn't very good.
No. You played in a European Cup final in the Czech Republic. Who was that for?
That was with West Brom, and we got to the finals, saved a penalty in the final, went to a penalty shootout. Wow. And unfortunately, our striker missed the penalty.
How welcoming was the promotion fraternity for a young sort of rookie promoter? Were they? Because it can be, it's a tough old world, isn't it?
It is. Look, combat sports is so brutal. It's so cutthroat, just like football is. And originally, I was obviously 14 at the time, but when I got involved in Muay Thai kickboxing, I would have been about 17. So they were it was very hard. I didn't have a Muay Thai fighting background. I hadn't earned my stripes, as you might say. So there was a lot of criticism, and especially by 8-time world champions, the greatest fighters of this country, going at you and almost seeming like everything was against you, but just staying resilient, pushing forward. And look, I've got a great support network as well. And here we are today.
Yeah. So 8 Strikes, just tell us a bit about, I mean, you summed it up perfectly just now in a sentence. So tell us roughly what it is.
Yeah, it's like MMA or like UFC without the wrestling. It's all stand-up striking. In 4-ounce MMA gloves, you've got 8 strikes. You can punch, you can elbow, you can knee, you can kick. It is straight action.
Wow-wee. And so...
And not following to the floor and a knockdown?
No, that's the whole point. You don't.
Yeah, okay.
That's right. So it's just that. So pacey, I would imagine, to watch.
It is exactly that. You know, boxing's 12 3-minute rounds, 36 minutes. It's jab and move. With 8 strikes, it's 3 3-minute rounds. It's 9 minutes of action, and it is non-stop for those 9 minutes.
And you've lent into your football experience for the scoring system a bit, haven't you?
It is, yeah. Muay Thai traditionally, not many people understand how it's scored. I've done 23 events. I don't even know how it's scored. Everybody knows how football's scored. If you win a round, you get a point. If you get a knockdown, you get another point. The person or the fighter with the most points at the end of the fight wins. Simple as that.
And have the fighters sort of, do they like the format? Do they enjoy the format?
They love the format. The greatest thing is you have MMA fighters crossing with kickboxers, with bare knuckle fighters, with Muay Thai fighters, all under one kind of rule set. And it's a real place where we can see, okay, who is the best?
Yeah. So it's going to take place at Woolwich Works in London, 13th of June. Who have you got in action?
So the main event, Mo Abdurrahman, he's an awesome fighter. He's fought in America, in Japan, in Hungary, all over the world. He's a couple-time world champion. He's facing against one of Morocco's best fighters. That's going to be a fantastic fight. We've also got Rio Johnson versus Tristan Masobrio. Tristan, on the last event, dropped in on 7 days' notice against probably the pound-for-pound number one from the UK for kickboxing, and arguably beat him. So he's coming back, and that's going to be a really, really awesome fight. And free on talkSPORT.
Yeah, that's good. So we're going to have it on the talkSPORT YouTube channel. That'll go out live, I take it.
Yes.
We'll put it out
And the
live
test
on
event had over 250,000 live views. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's amazing, really. But kind of fight sports are big, aren't they? And we've just seen Rico Verhoeven. He was in with Jim and Simon the other day, chatting about his fight against Alexander Usyk. So I think, maybe people viewing that kind of crossover slightly differently, because he gave a good account of himself, didn't he?
Exactly that. And like Simon was saying as well, a kickboxer or an MMA fighter can transition over to boxing. But if Usyk or AJ or Fury tried to transition over to 8 strikes rules, they'd get mauled. And can you just imagine Rico Verhoeven in MMA, 4-ounce gloves, pretty much bare knuckle? It would be a spectacle.
Yeah. So, 8 strikes is the number 8.
On the end of it,
Yeah, no, not on the floor. 8 strikes is the number 8, IGHT. I take you guys got a website and everything people can check out on the socials?
Yeah, absolutely. 8strikes.com. As you mentioned, 8 instead of an E, play on word.
Yeah, and so 13th of June, we will bring it to you, that event in London, and that will be live on the talkSPORT YouTube channel. Well, lovely to meet you, Charlie. I'm sure we'll meet again. You're going to go places, I'm sure. So do you follow football now? Do you support a team or not?
I almost fell out of love with it after I got released, but the one thing that got me back was, and it was so close to happening, Tottenham getting relegated.
So who's your team? Is it just Tottenham getting relegated? Or you're an Arsenal fan?
No. Well, no, unfortunately not.
Yeah.
I'm an inherited Chelsea fan, but I support all the underdogs.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Next season, don't worry about it.
Yeah, Andy's frightened you might be Tottenham next season, but we'll see. Lovely to see you, Charlie. All the best.
Thank you
Best
so
of luck
much.
with it. Thank you very much. It's Charlie Herdman there, football return boxing promoter, 13th of June, talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. That'll be Charlie's 8 Strikes event. Still to come, we're going to be bringing you the clips of the week. Todd Macklin will join us as well. And Gunther Steiner's up next. But talking boxing, it's a massive weekend of boxing on DAZN. Tonight at York Hall, Charlie Edwards, who popped in and saw us a little while ago, takes on South Africa's Siko and Katole. Saturday, the feud finally gets settled in Houston. Shock Foster defends his WBC super featherweight title against Raymond Ford. And later that night, pound-for-pound star Dimitri Bivol returns with his light heavyweight titles on the line against mandatory challenger Michael Eifert. 3 fights, 1 weekend, all on DAZN.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Sign up now at dazn.com/boxing.
Andy Robertson and Liverpool and the memories that brings up and the incredible teams that you've been part of over those years and Jurgen Klopp, all that history. Oh my goodness, just sum up, now that you're at the end of your Liverpool career, how it's been, how emotional has this been for you?
Yeah, it's been a difficult couple of weeks, but I also try to enjoy every minute of it. I think people are fed up of seeing my face and seeing interviews of me doing farewell stuff, so I'm glad this one's radio. But yeah, look, it's been an unbelievable 9-year journey.
Andy, can I take you back to, because I honestly think this was probably one of my favourite Liverpool sides ever. Mane, Salah, Firmino, Henderson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum. You guys, that back four, you just picked yourself really. Robbo, Matip, Virgil van Dijk, Trent, and Alisson. It will forever be one of my favourite Liverpool sides, I think, just because there was so much character in it, but also you guys were just so good. What was it like having that connection that you had with your team?
Yeah, look, that was, I think, I've spoke about it, quite a few times, but it's like that was the best time because, we were all kind of climbing the mountain together as such. None of us were the best player in the league. None of us were the best in our position. None of us were, we certainly weren't the best team. And I just think every day you just started seeing it slowly but surely piece all together. And then we climbed to the very top, obviously. Virgil won Player of the Season, Mo won Player of the Season, Jordan Henderson won Player of the Season. All these lads did. People were, quoted as the best in their position and things like that. And I think that team just kept on growing and growing. And when you're winning Premier Leagues, when you're, in Champions League finals and winning Champions League.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van range, supporting van owners to get the job done. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van centre.
Good afternoon, I'm Max Scott here with your sports headlines. After an emotional week, Andy Robertson's keeping his powder dry on that possible move to Spurs and fully focused on leading Scotland to their first World Cup in a generation.
The whole country's excited and we've been on some journey in terms of the Scotland journey. It's been unbelievable. We've had ups, we've had downs, but that night against Denmark will go down in the history books, I think, of one of the best games at Hampden. And
Scotland's World Cup opener against Haiti is live on talkSPORT on June 14th. And while Robertson didn't reveal his next club, we understand he's on his way to Spurs, as is Bournemouth defender Marco Senesi. He'll sign a 4-year contract at the club. Elsewhere, we're told Kieran Trippier has agreed a deal with Wolves. Meanwhile, Arsenal invincible Lee Dixon says Mikel Arteta's on the brink of greatness.
He's done a brilliant job. He's reconnected the players to the fans, and he's now in a position, if he wins the big one, and he's got a double under his belt, then I do believe that there's a potential dynasty around the corner.
The Gunners' Champions League final is live on talkSPORT tomorrow afternoon. And after Luke Littler said he came close to quitting darts because of the abuse he received this season, talkSPORT's darts commentator Ian Dancer had his say on the matter.
Good grief, I hope it stops, because it's the one thing that doesn't help the sport at all. It's got so many great things going for it, apart from these meatheads who do what they have to do, and the ones that whistle.
The Nuke won his second Premier League darts trophy. Get more on all this on the website at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
The Prime Minister's condemned Russia over a drone strike that hit a block of flats in Romania, and a 16-year-old boy's become the 12th person to drown during the hot weather. Amelia's got more at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. The tyre transfer window is hotting up, and we've signed a multi-generational talent with Continental Tyres. Visit quickfit.com and book today.
As the heatwave subsides, still dry and bright for most of us, cloudy over Scotland, still warm, fresher in the far north.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee, Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Tom Macklin will join us with some weird and wonderful tales from the world of American sport a little bit later on. we'll have some clips of the week for you, as always. And we're going to be in from Brendan McCullum, the England cricket coach. And we'll get reaction to an interview he gave talkSPORT earlier on today, play you some of that, and get reaction from our own Steve Harmison, former England fast bowler. So that's all to come. But first, a man who's popped in to see us in the studio a couple of times when he's had books out for a chat, which is always a pleasure. He's moved from 2 wheels to 4. He's led an acquisition.
That's the other way around, isn't it?
Oh, sorry, 4 wheels to 2. I do apologise. Yeah, I never get those the wrong way around. Tech 3 MotoGP team. It is. We know him, of course, from Drive to Survive as the team principal of Haas. It is Gunther Steiner. Hi, Gunther.
Hi guys, how are we doing?
Yeah, apart from getting the wheels the wrong way around, Gunther, I'm fine.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
So
think you've got somebody to look after you there.
Yeah,
you know?
that's it. Yeah, he puts me right. Have you always been a fan of motorcycle racing? Has it always been a great love? Have you been involved in it before?
No, I've never been involved in it. I always liked it, but I never had time because I had a job to do with 4 wheels. And when the opportunity came along after I left F1, I just went to a race for fun. And came away with the idea to get into the ownership of a MotoGP team. And obviously I found some people which helped me to buy one, and that's what we did.
Yeah, the fans' passion for bike racing is enormous. It doesn't always penetrate the mainstream, but there's a huge audience for this, isn't there, right across Europe, right across the world, really?
Absolutely. I mean, if you watch the races, they are really exciting because you actually never know who is going to win, you know. And it's always a battle out there, you know. So obviously people like battles on the racetrack, and you get a lot of them in MotoGP.
In terms of the balance between the bike and the rider, or the driver and the car in F1, what sort of parallels do you see, Gunther?
I mean, they must be. They are both talented, but the influence of the rider, of the person on a bike, it's bigger than the driver in a car. You know, in F1, the car has got a bigger input in your performance, while in bike riding, you know, what these guys do is phenomenal, in my opinion. And the rider, I would say, it's about 80% of the performance.
What other differences are you seeing in the two worlds now you're operating in the other one?
I think what I see, obviously, MotoGP is, as a sport, it's smaller, you know, but it has got a lot of potential to be to just attract more fans. And I think that is we as MotoGP just need to bring to the sport to more people, make them aware of it. Because once you watch MotoGP, you actually get hooked, a little bit like people once they started to watch F1, they got hooked to it, you know. So these are the parallels of the two. They are very, very exciting sports. And once people actually are aware of how much is going on in these sports, they love to watch it.
Have you gotten one of the bikes yet, Gunther? Have you got? I mean, you obviously got your driving license. Have you got your bike license yet to get on those big beasts?
You know, I've got one advantage. I made my driving license a long, long time ago because I'm an old dude, you know. So when I made it, you automatically got, with the car license, a bike license. So it's still, in Italy, I made my license in Italy, and I just checked lately if I need to make a bike license. No, you don't need to make one, because I think if you made your license before 1987, your car license, you automatically got the bike license. So I'm good, guys. You know, I just need to get a bike now. I need to save some money to buy one, you know.
And tell us a bit about the team you've bought into. Is there real potential there, you think?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we were very lucky that a guy which started his team in '89, Hervé Poncharal, it's a French team. He put together a very good team, and he just wanted to do something different in his life. And he decided that he would sell it to us, which is difficult to come by one of these teams these days. And we got a very good team. And our collaboration with KTM, we just announced 2 weeks ago that we continue that one. KTM is a bike builder, an Austrian one. Tech 3, our team was with them the last 6 or 7 years, and we continue with them. So we try to build on that experience. So now we are in a good place, and hopefully we can go for podiums regularly in the future. I mean, we had one podium in a sprint race this year with Tech 3, which we were very happy about it, and hopefully we can get more in the next years to come.
Maybe one way to get more eyes on the sport, as you were saying earlier on, is to do a fly-on-the-wall documentary on Netflix. That's not a bad idea, is it? Do you fancy that?
Yeah, I mean, I've done it before. I don't care. I don't change. I don't have to put any effort into that one. That comes easy for me.
Yeah. So I'm sure you're keeping an eye on the world of F1, though you're not as directly involved anymore from the team principal point of view. What have you made of the season so far, Gunter?
I mean, it's a very interesting season. It started off a little bit, obviously controversial, but we don't speak about that one because it's in the past. But the last races were very interesting, and obviously Mercedes is out there in front in the moment. But Toto lets them fight between them, which is fantastic for whoever watches it.
You surprised how well Antonelli is doing?
Yes, very much surprised. We all knew, or I knew that he was good, but that he takes the fight, and actually more than the fight to George. I was a little bit surprised that he actually can regularly run at the same speed, or sometimes even better than George, which is amazing, So for a young kid like him, and I mean, George is a fast driver, and he knows what he's doing. So having this young kid just coming into Formula One the second year and now beating one of the biggest talents in the moment in the sport is pretty cool.
Verstappen isn't enjoying it though, is he, Gunter? And do you think that's because he genuinely doesn't like the regs, or that he isn't really competitive at the moment?
I think he enjoyed it a little bit more already last weekend when he finished on the podium. He's getting there, You know how drivers are. If they got a machine they can win, they don't care about the regulations as long as they win. And I think that was, for him, frustrating at the beginning of the year that he was well off the pace. But now Red Bull has made up some ground, and he started to like it a little bit better. He said it's not completely fixed, but, I think we can fix it. While beginning of the year, it was like, I'm leaving here.
And things picking up for Lewis Hamilton at Ferrari as well. How are you viewing his progress?
No, it's very good, and it's good to see him coming back. I mean, obviously last year, I think all of us were doubting Lewis if it is still for him, because he has done a lot for the sport, a lot for himself, won a lot, So it was more like, will he come back? And he came back the last races. He was on it, and again, to beat a guy like Charles Leclerc is difficult because he's one of the best out there. So it in my opinion, it means a lot, and obviously it means a lot for the sport because Lewis has such a big following, So it is good, but it's good also for him that he kept his head up and kept on fighting and not listening to all the naysayers.
Absolutely. Well, always a pleasure, Gunter. We wish you well in the world of MotoGP and with your team, and thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
There we are, this Gunter Steiner there. We should tell you a bit about on the MotoGP front. The season is already delivering intense action, and we're just starting. The British Grand Prix is coming in fast, and you can get your tickets now at silverstone.co.uk. And you heard Gunter evangelising about it there. So it sounds like a good day out. His team is Tech 3, the Red Bull Tech 3 team. It is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT, and still to come, we will have some clips of the week for you, bit of cricket chat with Steve Harmison. We'll squeeze in some football chat as well, of course, because he has seen PSG in the flesh play Newcastle not that long ago. And we'll first bring you Todd Macklin's American Sports Roundup, some really interesting tales from that part of the world. We're here, as always, with our good friends at Tool Station, open from 7 a.m. Monday to Saturday. Grab what you need, get on site, get it done. First stop, Tool Station.
Edwin, away from Soccer Aid, obviously a good second half of the season for your former club, Manchester United. It feels like a no-brainer to give Michael Carrick the job on a full-time basis. I guess the big question is, what can he achieve next season? How how close to being championship contenders do you see them being?
Yeah, but I think what Michael brought was stability, clarity. Got some players in, played a lot of times the same team, and formation that was recognizable for the fans. And I think the performance that he put on, the results that he got, and that the board and the directors take their time to look at our options, see how things develop, see how the players look like. Probably got some contact with Bruno and some established players to make up their mind. And very happy for Michael that he got the opportunity to do it on a permanent basis.
What about Michael Carrick's big selections this summer? What has he got to do in order to make them more competitive next season in terms of winning the Premier League? Because that's the established aim for Manchester United.
Yeah, of course. I'm not that deep into Manchester United. And of course, some players will have a desire to leave or to extend the contract. Big thing is, of course, Casemiro leaving, so that will leave them a big gap in the midfield. The initial period was a bit iffy, but I think that last year, a year and a half, the appreciation for him and his career has been immense. So that will be a headache.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. Because this summer, you and a mate could be jetting off to watch England versus Croatia live at the FIFA World Cup 2026 in Dallas, including tickets, flights, accommodation and more, courtesy of Adidas. Go to talksport.com/win to enter now, and you could be soaking up the incredible atmosphere at the FIFA World Cup 2026. For the chance to win every football fan's trip of a lifetime, enter now at talksport.com/win.
Time then to talk American sports as we do around this time every Friday in the company of Todd Macklin. Good afternoon, Todd.
Hi, boys.
Charlie Baker's been driving us mad with his New York. Seen them once. His New York Knicks.
They're in the finals.
They have made the NBA finals. They don't know who they're going to be playing yet. Because
President Trump is supposed to be going to the game. I mean, it's going to be interesting if he does.
one of the games in New York.
They reckon it's going to get a bad reception if he goes, but we'll see.
Well, we'll see what happens. Well, who's it going to be against? Spurs Thunder has gone down to Game 7, isn't it? Early hours of sort of Sunday morning from our point of view.
Yeah, and cannot wait for this Game 7. You got the Thunder, last year's NBA champions. You've got the Spurs, right, multi-time NBA champion. I think people are looking forward not just to the Game 7, but to the Thunder and Spurs kind of being the dominant NBA teams over the next decade or so, right? They've got the best young players in the game. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for the Thunder, and obviously Victor Wembanyama for the Spurs. They've got a great supporting cast. So I think that's the biggest thing to come out of this year is there's an expectation that these two are going to battle, and it won't be for the NBA championship. It's for the Western Conference Finals. So only you got to get through the other to get to the NBA Finals, and this is kind of the start of what we see as kind of at least a decade of these two teams battling to get to the NBA Finals.
Watching some of the highlights of the game yesterday between Spurs and Thunder, Wembanyama was fantastic. And it reminded me of some of those stories that you used to hear in The Last Dance, that it wasn't just that he's a great player, it was just his sheer force of will gets his team over the line, the way that, that used to be the case. So, I mean, he is some player, isn't he?
He is incredible. We touched on it last week when you guys mentioned, hey, the Spurs are going to be, it's Manchester, right? Like they're coming to Manchester next year. I mean, it's just one of those things. If you got a chance to see him live, you do it. I've said it. He's the face of the NBA right now and going forward. And, you know, Saturday night, too, is going to be his first Game 7. So that's going to be a big deal to see how he handles the pressure. Now, so far, he's been pretty great this year. But Game 7s are different, right? There's just so much pressure on the line. So that'll be something really interesting to see. Saturday night is just Wembanyama, you know, the pressure of being in a Game 7.
And that's in Oklahoma as well, isn't it? It's a
It is, yes.
Yeah. Now, you say he's the face of the sport at the moment. He's also the face of the San Antonio Central Library. There was a clip of him going into the dressing room before a game, and he had a book, and he puts the book down. One of his teammates says, "What's that?" He said, "Well, it's a book." He said, "Well, you brought a book?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I sit and read it before games. You know, it sort of chills him out." And he's into fantasy novels, sort of Games of Thronesy type stuff. You know, that's his thing. But the Central Library saw he was an avid reader, and now they've got this Read Like Wemby campaign where all of his favourite books are on display, and they're all selling well, and the kids apparently are all taking them out and reading. It's a nice story, Todd.
Great story, positive story, right? You know, we're so used to money and athletes a lot of times getting into trouble. You know, it sounds like the only trouble he's getting into is if he returns his library book late, right? So we can live with that kind of trouble, right, guys? I mean, that's okay.
Yeah, no.
There just seems like there's so many layers to this young man. And again, you know, we're talking about 22 years old, right? So still so young, but just seems to do things the right way, which that's just it's just inspiring to people.
Yeah. Now, the four notable Spurs fans, San Antonio Spurs fans, have been spotted in the crowd. They've been going in various guises for over 20 years, but they went viral last week. They are 4 Salesian nuns. And if you're watching this afternoon, maybe I'll show you the footage of that. But they've been going to all of the games for many years. The personnel has changed, sadly, and let's be honest, as one or two have died out. Younger ones have gone along. They sing all the songs. There they are, courtside, chatting to some of the players.
They're in the colours as well.
They are in the Spurs, wearing Spurs vests as well. It's So they've gone viral this week, Todd, haven't they?
They have, and my favorite part of them is they don't pray for the Spurs to win. They pray for the players to play to the best of their God-given ability, which I think is fantastic, right?
That's right,
like they're not asking, they don't go and ask for a win, right? They just hope, you know, everyone plays to the best of their ability. I love that about it. And as you say, these aren't fair weather fans, right? Like they date back to Tim Duncan. That's what I've heard is that, you know, they started getting into the Spurs when Tim Duncan came to the Spurs a couple decades ago. So they've been to many championships and been around many championship teams. And Greg Popovich, the longtime coach of the Spurs, he visited them, visited the sisters years ago. Yeah. I think after the Spurs won their 4th championship, went and visited them and thanked them.
You sure they weren't at Tottenham Stadium last week praying for a miracle?
Well, we could. If we've got four nuns that are Spurs fans, we might need them on. Remember years ago, Lazio used to have a nun.
Oh yeah,
she used to report into the games. They would cross her. She was like on Sky Sports News, and they would kind of cross her in the stadium. And she'd give you a score update. It's like Cammy. Yeah, it's been a goal.
She was part of the
Sister Kamara.
Yeah, Italian TV.
As their Giuseppe. Yeah, it'd be great. That's what it was like. Yeah, no, of course, it wasn't quite like that. Now, if you want to go and see the Knicks play in the NBA Finals, tickets are relatively pricey, I think it's fair to say. If you've got your tickets already, you've bought them from the team or you're a season ticket holder, fine. But if you're on the resale sites for the NBA Finals, there's a couple of examples. There is one courtside seat I saw on SeatGeek. It's £190,000, Todd.
Yeah.
To sit. Probably you're going to be in a kind of Stella Chalamet sandwich, possibly with Spike Lee the other side. So it's going to be quite starry. So if you've got the money, I can see the appeal, really.
Going to be incredibly starry, right? We talked a lot about the celebrities, especially the Knicks celebrities. You mentioned Chalamet and Ben Stiller. right? Spike will be there, definitely. You guys mentioned the plan is for Donald Trump to be at one of the games. So that'll likely be game 3 or 4 will be in New York for that series. Yeah, it's incredible. It's a big deal, right? The Knicks, you put the Knicks up there with the Celtics and Lakers of most famous teams in the NBA. They've won 11 straight playoff games. I mean, it's just such a big story. But they will clearly be the underdogs, whoever they play, whether it's the Spurs or the Thunder. But it's going to be amazing at MSG for those games.
If 190k is a bit rich for your blood, if you want to sit in the very last row, again on the resale sites, about
that's great for basketball.
Yeah, about $4,000. Sit at the very back, 4,000. So what, about $3,000 if you've got some to spare.
Mad.
Now, Travis Kelce, of course, soon to be.
You say Mr. Swift?
No, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say soon to be married to Taylor Swift. That's happening. Still very much a Kansas City Chiefs player. He's a Cleveland lad, and he has invested in the local baseball team, the Cleveland Guardians. And one of the things that is appealing to him, apart from it being his local team, is an opportunity to put right a wrong. He did a ceremonial pitch. He's hoping to do another ceremonial pitch, which they often do, get celebrities out to do the first pitch of the game, of course, in baseball. And last time he did it, it didn't go particularly well in 2023.
He's just showing it.
Yeah, he sort of threw it into the pitch and felt quite bad. Threw it into the field. Patrick Mahomes, when it was announced he bought into the club, was very quick to remind people of that.
I think he thought it was cricket. He bowled him a bouncer.
He did bowl. Yes. It was a bouncer. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes put it up online and said congratulations. But yeah, he wants a shot of redemption, Todd.
And I've heard that shot of redemption June 14th.
Right.
So probably just over a couple weeks from now, I think he's going to be able to throw out another first pitch on that day and get redemption.
Yeah.
Guys, we over the decades that we've been together, right? Think about the first pitches we've seen, right? It stains your reputation, right? When you throw one poorly. So Travis, and I will bigger picture. Travis Kelce has said, you guys mentioned it, he's from the Cleveland area. He said everything good in his life has happened because he's from Cleveland. And he's become an investor in the Guardians. We saw him recently at the Cavaliers game, right? He was chugging a beer with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
So he's just a guy who's in love with his hometown of Cleveland. And again, good on him for having that pride in Cleveland. A lot of people don't have that pride in Cleveland. He does.
Yeah, nice story. Also, to end, talking of Patrick Mahomes, his teammate, Kansas City quarterback, to add to his 3 Super Bowl rings now, Andy, an Emmy. He's won an Emmy.
Nice.
He's part of a production company, I think with Peyton Manning as well. It's a joint venture. They made this documentary series called Quarterback. And
what's it about?
I mean, he's seen both of them seem in a particularly good place to make a documentary about that. But yeah, so it's won itself a sports Emmy, Todd, which is well done to them.
Yeah, pretty much Patrick Mahomes, right? The Midas touch. He gets involved in something. Usually comes out as a win, right? There's some sort of trophy involved. So good on him.
Yeah. Nice one, Todd. We will catch up with you next week. Thanks very much.
See you, boys.
There we are. That's Todd Macklin, our man on American sports. And we got some clips of the week coming up. Then we're going to hear from Brendan McCullum after a difficult Ashes. England picking up the pieces this summer. There are some people think he's lucky to have kept his job. Some people not a million miles away from him.
Well, no, it's not necessarily that. I'd say he's got. I think he had a bit of credit in the bank. So, but he was lucky to keep his job because England were pathetic in Australia. Let's be honest about it. Don't want to mince our words, do we?
talkSPORT interviewed him today, where we'll play some of that, and we'll get the reaction of former England fast bowler and Ashes winner, our very own Steve Harmison will be joining us later on. But those clips are coming up first.
As I've been waiting to come on, I've just had a message from somebody called Gabriel Agbonlahor. I'm not quite sure who he is, but his message was replying to me writing a diary in the Spectator magazine this week, which is headline, "No one likes Arsenal, we don't care." And he's just said, "I pray for a PSG win." Think about that sentence. That is a talkSPORT presenter on his knees praying to God that Arsenal an English team, do not win the Champions League. That is how pathetic the Arsenal haters have got. It is pathetic.
I want to ask you about that, Pierre, and I'm deadly serious, right? I'm deadly serious, right? I remember West Ham getting that Conference League final. Just about the whole country was behind them. Certainly Palace last week. Everybody was behind them. Why? What is it with Arsenal?
I just cannot understand how any fan base that has me, Keir Starmer, Jeremy Corbyn, the president of Rwanda.
You've answered that.
And I haven't finished yet. And the late Osama bin Laden. Why that fan base would be so detested, I have no idea. No, you know what it is? It's we live in a country I like this about our country, but it's tall poppy syndrome, right? When we were losing and choking, everybody loved Arsenal, right? For the last 22 years, there's nothing other football fans have enjoyed more or loved more or celebrated more than our repeated choking and failures. And now we've actually climbed the summit. Now we've become Premier League champions again.
As he gears up to captain Scotland for their first World Cup in a generation, Andy Robertson's keeping his cards very close to his chest on that potential move to Spurs.
My future will take care of itself. I don't go into anything half-hearted. I go into everything with absolute 100%, and that's not going to change in my career.
Meanwhile, we understand Marco Senesi is definitely going to Spurs. The Bournemouth defender has agreed a 4-year contract at Tottenham. Now, we're told Ibrahima Konate will leave Liverpool on a free this summer after player and club failed to reach an agreement on a new contract. Elsewhere, Luke Littler's been praised for the way he's handled some serious pressure. After beating Luke Humphries 11-10 to win back the Premier League trophy, Littler broke down on stage and revealed he came close to quitting following poor form and abuse from fans. talkSPORT's Laura Woods says the Premier League of darts is relentless, even for some of the older, experienced players.
You might say he's got a little bit more energy. He's probably got a lot more energy, to be fair. But it is a lot. It is a lot to deal with because you're also dealing with all the pressure of social media. And when you're a youngster, I don't think it's as easy as us to just go, I'm just not going to go on it tonight.
And a Paraguayan tennis player claims female umpires aren't strong enough to go against a partisan crowd. After losing his French Open's second-round match to teenager and home favourite Moise Kwame, Adolfo Daniel Vallejo said a woman shouldn't have been in the chair.
Good afternoon, it's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We're watching the IPL cricket at the moment, and we're watching Suryavanshi, the 15-year-old freak of nature, isn't he, Andy? He's just amazing. Yeah, we're going to have a chat with Steve Harmison a little bit later on. He had a quite incredible innings last time out, so we'll be chatting about that and a bit of England and other matters besides. But first, it is time for the Clips of the Week with Toolstation.
Clips of the Week on talkSPORT with Toolstation. First stop, Toolstation.
Talk Sport Clips of the Week.
And we kick off this week with our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, who was talking West Ham.
But as so often seems to be the case at West Ham, you have people pulling in different directions. I think as of Monday, David Sullivan was more inclined to part company with Nuno. Scott Parker was very much a talking horse.
Really? It's not Mr. Ed.
Exactly.
For the kids. Yeah, I think stalking horse is what he was looking for. That's
so,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is France World Cup winner Emmanuel Petit recalling some of his old international teammates.
The lack of Cantona and Ginola, they were huge players. Both guys, they were huge personality, huge player on the pitch as well.
Sorry, on the what, Manu?
On the pitch as well.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that.
Never got in the way of their careers, but
well, they like as players. It's good, isn't it? It's good it didn't get in the way.
And here's newsreader Hugo Chambray, where there's been a goal in the League One playoff.
There has already been a goal at Wembley in the League One playoff final. Bolton lead Stockport 1-0. Are we throwing to a reporter who's there? Yes.
Stockport 0, Bolton 1. Eventually.
Harold Pinter's score updates. On a similar note, this is Max Rushton and Barry Glendenning on the warm-up as the relegation fight reaches a nail-biting conclusion.
It is West Ham and Spurs both. Well, one of them will go down, and I believe we have some moody tension package to set the scene.
Or not.
We don't. Oh, there we go.
Fair enough. That's a bit of an anticlimax, wasn't it?
I was looking forward to
it. Was tense enough as it was. It didn't need any help.
Ahead of last Sunday's games, there was a lot of nerves among the fans involved, as this Spurs caller showed.
Our biggest rivals has done one over on us. We could have got a point on Chelsea and none of this has mattered. Instead, we've now got to sit here and watch through our fingernails.
That'd be quite difficult, wouldn't it, really?
You wouldn't see a lot, really.
You wouldn't see a great deal. Jeff Stelling on Breakfast Now, struggling with a manager's name.
We'll talk about Jamie Vardy a bit later. The one thing about Andoni Iraola, I would say,
Anthony who, Jeff?
Yeah.
Andoni Iraola.
Yeah, in Danny Italia.
Yeah.
It's that old thing of if you say it quick enough, no
Yes,
one's going to
we all
notice.
do that.
Yeah, we've all done that before and we can't think of it. Also stumbling over a manager's name was our own Shabana Hearn.
Should there be a statue of here?
Yeah, well, I think so. Can we have that again, Shabana?
Yeah, let's hear that again.
Oh, yeah, he's great. It's tremendous.
That was pretty close. Actually, according to betting expert Simon Clare, coaching runs in the Glasner family.
They're even money favourites, Palace. What a job Olivia Glasner has done.
She's a lovely girl.
Lovely girl, Olivia.
Done brilliant things at Palace. What a family they are, the Glasners.
And finally,
yes,
just time for a quick weather update from Nick Ellaby.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit.
Spunny spells continue for most of us.
What are spunny spells?
No idea what spunny spells are, but never mind.
Okay. We have an incomplete list of thank yous currently.
Oh, yeah.
But I can give you the ones I have. They are Nick Ellaby, who for the third week running has been in it and has suggested clips.
He's tremendous.
I think he's doing it on purpose. It's not the idea, Nick, is it? No. Although I think, or maybe somebody else suggested his one. We should thank Dave. We should thank Sarah. We should thank Luke as well. If there may be others of you who suggested clips that were played this week, but they're the ones we have at the moment. So if you do hear a clip on TalkSport over the next 7 days, please do send them in to us. talksport.com/H&J. You can text them to 81089. You can tweet them to TSH&J. As always, we need a day and a time when you heard them go out on TalkSport, any of our sister stations. And if they're played, you will get a credit. If you want to hear the clips of the week back, you can do so as a podcast, wherever you get your podcast. Just look out for TalkSport Clips of the Week. And the H&J Daily with some of the best bits of this afternoon's show will also be available. If you missed the start of the show, we had a chat to Ian Stone, a comedian and Arsenal fan, who's got a bit of a mercy dash after a gig to Budapest for the final tomorrow. We spoke to the quite incredible Charlie Herman. Remember the name. He's a boxing promoter and he got involved in it after a career in football at the age of 14. So I think we're going to hear a lot more from him and all manner of other stuff. Some of the best bits of the start of the show. And that's all available wherever you get your podcasts. So they were the clips of the week with Tool Station. Steve Harmison joining us for a chat. Shortly going to hear from Brendan McCullum. In the meantime, Andy, you've got a couple of minutes to regale us with whatever you like.
What have I got? Well, I could do... honestly, these letters to the stars do fascinate me, actually.
They fascinate you?
Yes, they do fascinate me.
Okay, right.
Grant Haitley wrote in, and I call these four texts.
Okay, right.
I really do think BBC Breakfast needs some dishy eye candy. It's amazing, isn't it? It's not 1970, mate.
Yes.
After losing Carol Kirkwood, they really are lacking in this department. Yeah, that's what we all watch the weather for.
Yeah, that's it. Well, okay. Well, thanks to the good people at the Star for that.
It's all good stuff. That's probably from today's list. I probably would think of a number if you want to do one.
Oh, okay. Shall I just pull one out? Andy's got all of his cuttings here. I'm going to pull a number out of midair. 72. Can you find 72?
Oh, yeah, because they're in order. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, blimey. Okay.
Know, very organised.
Fair enough.
72.
Yes.
Oh, yes, it's Posh People News.
I can't beat that.
Oh, you can't. I hear Zach Goldsmith has set a date for his wedding to society darling Hum Fleming.
This is Hum Fleming.
Hum Fleming.
This is real talkSPORT heartland, isn't it? I'm sure Chris in his van, sitting at the lights at the moment, can't wait for Zach Goldsmith and Hum Fleming to get married. He's probably going.
He probably is. The nuptials, which will be the millionaire's third wedding, will take place on September the 6th. So he tells you how long I keep these couples.
Yeah. Well, not last year. They're probably divorced. Of course not. Of course not.
In the trendy Cotswold village of Stowe in the Wold.
Okay.
Last year I revealed the couple...
Not above a flat... No, it's not in a flat roof pub.
Home indoors. Who cares? Goodness sake.
Well, you cut them out, Andy.
I do, Andy, because I know people are not interested.
So we'll close out with a bit of cricket, bit of football as well. Steve Harmison's going to join us. Of course, he reports on his beloved Newcastle for us on talkSPORT. And
he's a big fan of Hum Fleming.
He is. Oh, yeah, massive. We'll get his take on the Champions League final, and we'll hear from Brendan McCullum and get his reaction to what the England coach had to say when talkSPORT interviewed him earlier on today. But as we said now, that was the clips of the week with Tool Station, our very good friends at Tool Station. First stop for everything for the job from 7 a.m. Monday to Saturday. Start strong, start it right. First stop, Tool Station.
Clips of the week on talkSPORT with Tool Station. First stop, Tool Station.
Big week, big week, big week.
Come on.
Big week.
Should I get congratulations?
Happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Do you know
I'm
how
not sour,
pathetic
man.
this is? You got a Tottenham fan sort of celebrating. You can't celebrate. You come in
Straight in.
You
Bro,
can't
at
do
least
that.
like maybe a cup of tea first. Like, bro, straight in.
No, mate, because your entire gait and approach is wrong. This is unjust. This isn't how it works. Darren sitting next to me, giving it the big one, is just about fair enough. They're champions. They can get away with it. You can't come in here as a Tottenham fan and celebrate. You've got to celebrate.
You're smiling. Where did you finish?
What did you celebrate?
Where did you finish?
I'm not celebrating.
Where did you finish?
No, we finished mid-table.
I'll put something to you. We had the same season as you.
I kind of agree with that. I just think it's crazy that you came in here. You came in here like the cat that got the cream.
No.
This is the thing.
I think what people are confused about. No one celebrated finishing 17th. We celebrated the fact that we're not going to be in the championship. You don't get that. What don't you get about that? No one wants to be 17th, but once we're in a relegation fight, you want me to be upset that we're staying up? Bro, I'm happy, bro.
I think it's shameful that you can find anything to celebrate at the moment. And this is the thing that Tottenham fans are doing. They're sort of going, we kind of won. We won. We succeeded. We made it. Like, no, you lost. The fact that we're having this conversation.
Nobody.
It's the fact that we're having this conversation.
He's coming in for a different level of smoke.
Yeah, he has.
I had an ice cream earlier.
He has. No, literally, I was enjoying the weather. Yeah, he's coming in on war like,
honestly,
crazy.
I just can't believe it. I've witnessed you in real life. You've walked through the door like the cat.
You want me to come in here? It's 30 degrees outside. How do you want me to walk in?
I think you should come in here very reticent and basically say, "Oh my God."
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. Because this summer, you and a mate could be jetting off to watch England versus Croatia live at the FIFA World Cup 2026 in Dallas, including tickets, flights, accommodation and more, courtesy of Adidas. Go to talksport.com/win to enter now, and you could be soaking up the incredible atmosphere at the FIFA World Cup 2026. For the chance to win every football fan's trip of a lifetime, enter now at talksport.com/win.
And we finished today talking a bit of cricket and some football because ahead of the start of the Test summer, England men's head coach Brendan McCullum spoke exclusively to talkSPORT and shared his thoughts on Ben Stokes' post-Ashes comments regarding the England team's predictability.
I'd be slightly concerned if we weren't predictable, because then we wouldn't have an identity. I think, it's having an identity, but it's been malleable in situations that require craft. And in games, you're either under pressure or you're putting pressure on the opposition, and there's times where, as long as we have an identity about what we're doing, there's times where we can adjust that craft in those key moments, and that'll give you the opportunity to win more of the big moments. So I think it's no bad thing us being predictable to a level, but there's a need to have some craft when required.
There we are. That was Brendan McCullum.
I think he's a man that does a lot of self-doubt.
No, I suppose he would say that as his strength. Joining us now, the former England fast bowler Ashes winner, our very own Steve Harmison. Hi, Harmy.
Good afternoon, gents. How are we?
Yeah, not
good,
so
thanks.
bad.
I'm trying to have one eye on Surivanshi at the moment.
Yeah, we'll come on to him in a moment. He's currently playing. But
him and Jadeja, imagine bowling to that blind.
But let's start with Brendan McCullum. What do you make of those comments, those first ones? We've got another clip to play, but what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's about actions now. They've spoke, they've had their debrief, they've had their review, they've had the PowerPoints. Brendan's now in the country. It's about actions. Talks about predictability. England have, for the first 2.5 years, they were fantastic under McCullum and Stokes, and the level of predictability now is they're getting themselves into winning moments, and whether it's pressure and they can't handle the pressure, or just having the sort of the cricket brain cells to get themselves through them winning moments seems to have disappeared over the course of the last 18 months, and they need to quickly get them back. Because I was critical in saying I thought Brendan was lucky to keep his job. I'm actually pleased he has, because I want to see the end of this Ben Stokes, Brendan McCullum film, because it's been an absolute blockbuster since it started. It'll finish with the Ashes, and hopefully England can win the Ashes. So, it's a little bit of mixed in a way that all the talking's been done by a lot of former players, journalists, pundits, YouTubers, and the players have not had a chance to fire back because the Ashes was so poor. They've now got a chance to sort of fire back with their actions when it comes to what happens from the 4th of June onwards, because they couldn't really say anything. They couldn't come out shooting from the hip. It was poor. What they can do, they can come out on the 4th of June and stick together as a group and prove that they are a fantastic cricket team.
Let's play another snippet from his conversation with talkSPORT. He was asked, Brendan McCullum, about his feelings on what it means to be the England head coach.
I am very grateful for the opportunity to do what I do with this England side, to be in the coach's position and to help navigate the path forward to try and get the best out of some of the talent that sits within English cricket and to try and ultimately achieve success. It's quite humbling, really, to be in the position you're in. I never take it for granted. Do I have other things in life that you can do? Of course you do. But this is a great honour to be in the position you're in, and you want to do the best job you possibly can. And that's always been my motivation, and that will always be, while I'm in this position, will be my motivation. I'm fiercely competitive. Yes, I have a very relaxed personality, but it doesn't mean you're not competitive and you don't want to get the best out of those around you and put in everything you possibly can. So, look, while I'm in the job, I'll try and do what I can to get them to get the results for these guys and to become as good a cricket side as we possibly can. And then when I'm not, I'll be back on the farm and doing my thing. But for now, I'm determined to succeed with these guys.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know if you think this, Harmy, but this isn't going to be easy for England. I mean, people shouldn't think that just because they played poorly and they've had this review and blah, 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 New Zealand are a good team.
Not only New Zealand, Andy, India are a good side as well, because you've got to remember that India come with a white ball straight after. You mentioned that Suryavanshi, who's doing wonders in the IPL. It's going to be a difficult challenge, this New Zealand side, especially with the likes of Henry and Jameson and O'Rourke from the bowling point of view. Anybody thinks that Brendan McCullum, as England coach, is just on a jolly because you see him, lounging about on the balcony and stuff like that? That's not right. That isn't right. This guy is committed towards English cricket. He has got a laid-back character. He's got a laid-back manner. But you just watch him as a player. You see around training sessions and stuff like that. He tries to take pressure off the players so they can fulfill their skill sets during 5 days of intense pressure and intense cricket. And unfortunately, for the last 18 months, just the big moments have let England down. And yes, you can blame Brendan McCullum on that, but when players are giving their wickets away in the 90s at the Oval and ends up costing the game, that's not on Brendan McCullum. So I do think he is a committed coach. I just think sometimes that the mixed messaging that possibly he gives off sometimes can go through to a team when it's under pressure, and unfortunately they haven't been able to deal with their big moments, and that's why they're in the position that they're in. But this will be red ball and white ball up, and this will be a test only the England cricket team, but the England management team as well.
There'll be more of that interview on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel and on a following on podcast as well. Before we let you go, Harmy, you've seen your team, Newcastle United, hammer PSG 4-1. I mean, I'm sure Arsenal fans would take that now. Are you looking forward to the game? What are you expecting?
Yeah, I'm expecting a great game. I mean, you're expecting, even though Arsenal, from a defensive point of view, and they're not everybody's cup of tea. I mean, I want England to do well. I would like the whole clean sweep, from an English point of view in Europe. And I think Arsenal, I still think they've got a great chance in this game. I really do. Defensively, they're sound and they're solid. I think from offensively, they've got what it takes on either sides to cause PSG problems. And then, obviously, I think everybody's sick of hearing about the corners and the set pieces and stuff like that. But they've got a towering team. So I hope so for English football's sake. I always want English cricket to do well, the rugby and English football teams in Europe. And it'll be great to cap off what's been a brilliant season for Arsenal by going and beating PSG in the Champions League final.
And Anthony Gordon,
my house into a Parisian brasserie.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. Yeah, that's right. You're going to get your accordion out tonight. Yeah? And just quick one, Anthony Gordon to Barcelona. It wasn't probably the most obvious destination. What have you made of that?
I think it's a good move for everybody. I really do. I don't think Newcastle are getting the true value of what Anthony Gordon, 69 plus whatever add-ons it is. I think both parties, I think it's the right time to move on. I hope Anthony has enjoyed being at Newcastle, because he came as a £40 million player. He's played in 2 campaigns of the Champions League. He's won a trophy and made his England debut. And he now got and signed for Barcelona. From Newcastle's point of view, we've got a transfer over the line before the transfer window opens, so we've got money to spend. And hopefully, like we've done in the previous windows up until the last one, when it was a little bit panicked, when we've had a clearer plan, we've spent well, and that has to be the driving force for Newcastle. But it's disappointing to see him go, because I think he is a top player, and he's been good for Newcastle United if he hasn't in the last few months. But I think he's done everything right, was fit for the last 4 games. Eddie didn't pick him, and he should go off and think well of Newcastle when he does get to Barcelona, because I think Newcastle's been good for Anthony, and I think this is a good move for Newcastle as well.
Excellent. Cheers, Harmy. Have a good weekend. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, boys.
Steve Harmison, former England fast bowler. That is us. We will return on Monday to reflect on the Champions League final and continue the build-up to the World Cup. But coming up next, it is Drive with Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent. They're live once again at Soccer Aid Training. Have a great weekend.
Look, he was on stage last night. It was quite an emotional sort of admission, really. He said that after Brighton, I think in week 10, I came off the stage, and the incident in Manchester where he had the argument with Jan van Veen, I was sat at home and I was saying to Faith, I don't want to do it anymore. Just the crowd every week. I said to her, I'm down bad. Now, listen, he was probably out of order to do the crybaby emoji or whatever it was he was doing to Van Veen, and he got a little bit of stick for that. But did we go, as a general public, did we protect him enough? We have to remember that he's 19 years of age. And bearing in mind the way he was talking there about his mental health, and bearing in mind we had a conversation last hour about Ricky Hatton
Yes.
and how, we deal with